of the process that you all went through
Yes, sir.
that night in removing Evelyn's body from the trash can.
Yes, sir. In the different stages of removing layers.
Judge, we would move to make those full exhibits this time.
Oh, Judge.
This first one, 20.
First was 20. I don't know what it is. Are there going to be more serious things?
Yes. Well,
Count them.
yes. Yes. And Judge, I would ask at this time to publish those to the jury. I'll start with Exhibit 20. Agent Fraley, if you would describe for the jurors what they're seeing in this photograph.
So this is after we removed the trash can from inside the playhouse. Like I said, this is my arm, and it's the first stage of removing the contents of that trash can that included the body of Evelyn. Next picture
Now
is
looking at 21.
okay. This next picture is again the continuing process where the bag is almost removed from the trash can that contained the same items. That's my hand there, and the top portion of that, Laura Parsons' hand here, who's from the forensic pathologist department.
Now Exhibit 22.
Again, my hand and arm here with the contents of what was inside the trash can, same contents, the bag with containing Evelyn's body.
Exhibit 23.
This is the bag removed and placed. This is the body bag I explained with the evidence marker with me here in the background.
And at this point in time, the bag has been completely removed from the trash can.
Yes, sir, it has.
Now showing you Exhibit 24.
Yes, sir. That's my hand there, starting to remove or peel back that trash can or trash bag, and the first portion of removing that layer that shows again the fleece, the gray and white fleece blanket, and then over here you start to see the aluminum foil that had covered Evelyn's head.
All right. So just so the jury is orientated as far as the photograph's concerned, Evelyn's head, as you all found it, is in the left, as we're looking at the photograph on the left side.
As we're looking at this photograph, her head would be right underneath where my hand is, covered in this aluminum foil. It's still inside the bag at this point.
Now looking at exhibit 25.
This is just the first photograph of Evelyn's body outside the trash bag. The trash bag has now been fully separated from Evelyn's body. Again, the evidence marker number 4. This is my hand here removing and holding the bag. This would be her head on this side of the photograph with her feet on this side of the photograph. Again, as I've described earlier, the head was wrapped in this aluminum foil.
All right. And just so we're clear for the record, when you're describing the head, that's as we're looking at the photograph, that's on the left side.
Yes, sir, on the left. If you can see that pointer, that's where that's at, but facing that that photograph, the head's on the left-hand side, the feet on the right-hand side.
Reconnect the judge.
It has, but it's just got your blue screen. It's not doing anything. Your laptop may have low battery. I don't know if it's plugged in or not.
So I'll just use the Elmo judge.
Well, I mean, I've got the blue screen, but I don't know if it's, to me, it's just showing. You should see what I'm seeing on the thing. That monitor account.
I'm just going to use the Elmo judge.
See, yeah, push it all the way up. Push it all the way up. This is 26.
This is 25, Judge. Okay. I believe we got disconnected, Agent Fraley. You were describing looking at the photograph. Evelyn's head is to the left where the foil is that correct?
That's correct. Looking as we're seeing it, the left here, this foil is her head, and down near the item marker number 4 is her feet.
What's your back to the, on the very top of the dot.
Showing you exhibit 26.
Yes, sir. My hand here. Another set of hands, Laura Parsons here. It's looking down into the trash bag that that Evelyn's body was pushed down into, and like I said, there is just assorted trash, eggshells, human decomposition fluids. And then on the right-hand portion in the lower section here is that aluminum foil and the blanket with the body of Evelyn right there.
That's you all had removed the body from the trash bag.
Yes, sir.
Now showing you Exhibit 27.
Again, a similar depiction of the last photograph, just it's a wider angle that's kind of showing the aluminum foil that's full, kind of formed around her head with the rest of her body there down to probably about her upper torso. Again, here talked about the aluminum foil head again, the rest of the body. Right here's what I'm describing as the insect activity of mid stages of pupa. That is basically in between the larvae section and the adult section of the insect typical as flies.
Now looking at Exhibit 29.
Again, just a different angle of Evelyn's body that's underneath these layers of aluminum foil, fleece blanket, down to her clothing, the purple fleece onesie with the penguins. And
At this point in time, you all have not removed any of the items from the body. Is that correct?
no, sir. No. Again, what we tried to do at the direction of the medical examiner and forensic pathologist was remove these in layers. As you see, that's each picture's best we could do is a layer, taking it through the trash can to the trash bag to the aluminum foil to the fleece blanket down to the purple onesie.
Now looking at Exhibit 30.
Again, this is kind of just stepping overhead, looking down. Same photograph, Evelyn's body with the foil and the fleece blanket and the evidence marker number 4.
Now Exhibit 31.
That's the first. Again, as I've described, taking this by layers. So this is us removing the aluminum foil from Evelyn's head.
And if you would, describe for the jury the processing. Was this a difficult process? Was it easy? How was the foil attached?
The foil was attached. It was compressed. It never occurred to me that when the body of Evelyn was placed or forced or shoved into this trash can, that this was a piece of foil that was just kind of put on there. This appeared to me to be formed around her head with the contours of the face, the eye sockets, how they're concave. This was formed. It wasn't just happened to be there and the body of Evelyn placed there and it just happened to meet up. It was formed.
So did it take you all a while to remove the foil from the body?
Not long, no. Like I said, once we got there, we Laura Parsons and I separated the layers, as you can see depicting in these photographs. And that's as far as we went. Once we got I think the next one will be the fleece blanket. But once we got to the body of Evelyn in her clothing, which was this purple fleece onesie with penguins on it, we stopped, and I'll continue at that point.
All right, I'm going to show you Exhibit 32.
Right. Again, this is just a next step, continuing removing that foil from Evelyn's head.
Okay. And at this point, it looks like you all have essentially removed all the foil.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Her head.
Yeah. It's off of the head and being pulled away by Laura Parsons.
Now I'm going to show you 33.
Okay. Now this is a photograph of where we're at with the processing with the aluminum foil removed from her head. So this is her body with the next layer, which would have been that gray and white fleece blanket. Again, what I described earlier, this here appeared to us to be, this fluid here was just bodily fluids of human, consistent with human decomposition.
It's somewhat kind of tough to tell because of the way it's spaced there, but is the blanket up there, is that around the head as well?
So the head is here. This is her right arm. She would be facing to the top portion of this picture, but her head was in a manner that it was backwards. It wasn't normal as I'm sitting here or you're sitting here. It was backwards, and that's hard to depict here, but her body in this photograph is facing to the top of the photograph with her head tilted backwards toward the bottom of the photograph. That's her right hand right there. That dark portion out of that fleece, that purple fleece onesie, and the color is very dark because of the advanced stages of human decomposition.
Now showing you Exhibit 34.
So again, this is the same stage in that, where this is on the other side of the body, this being the head, this being the hand I just described, the pink, purple onesie with penguins, and the gray and white fleece blanket.
All right. And again, from this angle, are we looking at the blanket there pulled up around the head?
Yes, sir. It's covering like it had been pulled up and over the head. So that is the head on the right-hand side of this photograph, with the feet on the left-hand side of this photograph.
Now showing you Exhibit 35.
This is, again, same Evelyn's head on the left this time. Her body facing to the top of this photograph and starting to remove the gray and white fleece blanket from her body. This is her leg down here. That's like the foot in a onesie that has those treads, so they have traction when they walk. So that's going to be her right foot and right leg on that.
And now showing you Exhibit 36.
Again, that's the next picture of the removal from the of the fleece blanket, the gray and white fleece blanket with her body there. And you see, again, that's going to be her right arm there and her right hand right there.
Now showing you Exhibit 37.
Yes, sir. This is a black and white photo, obviously. Her facing the top of the photograph. This is her right hand. Again, even though it's black and white, it's the consistent with the pictures you saw on the purple fleece onesie with the penguins. And this is her head to the right side of this picture.
As we're looking at that onesie, had it been disturbed, or does that show the onesie as you all?
That's as we finally removed the fleece blanket. That's the next layer as we found it.
Okay, so the onesie was open.
Yes.
And, sorry, hold on a second. Now I'm going to show you exhibit number 38.
Again, this is the body of Evelyn. That's her head. There's her legs and feet. There's her right hand there on that body bag.
we can, I'd like to go back. I'm going to show you Exhibit 37 again.
Okay.
I don't know if it's
The black and white
yeah, it's
photograph.
black and white photograph. Which is, as we're looking at the photograph, where is Evelyn's face?
So this is her head on the right-hand side of this photograph. Her body is facing to the top of the photograph, so her face would be right in here on the back side of, kind of looking at the back of her head. Again, it's advanced decomposition.
And did the fact that there was advanced decomposition, did that affect your all's ability to be able to, or how you were able to process the scene there?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in conference and at the direction, the medical examiner, the team from forensic center there. Once we got to this last picture of where we were at, the call was made, hey, we're going to stop here. We'll seal her body in the body bag, transport her to the forensic center for an autopsy at that point. And we continued processing the scene there for collecting the items. And we took those items to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, just where we had better lighting, better environment to log and process evidence items that were also discovered.
We're going to go from one set of photos to another set of photos.
Yes.
Just to leave that thing.
Okay.
Because when you put it down, electronically disconnects from the system. There's like, there's a layer.
Agent Fraley, you described the process of, I guess, taking the other items, the trash bags that you recovered from there, removing them from the scene and then taking them to the sheriff's office. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to hand you a series, because I believe it's 6 photographs, and ask you if you can identify what's shown in those.
This first photograph is a picture looking over the top of the trash can, looking down in it. And the bottom of that, the most notable item is a Martha White chocolate chip wrapper with other items.
Was that the trash can the body was found in?
Yes, sir, it was. The next one is a photograph of the trash can with Evelyn still in it at this time. This was an earlier photograph taken prior to the removal of Evelyn and the trash can. What's important and noted here is a piece of chewing gum that is attached to the inside wall of the trash can. The next photograph is after I removed the trash can and the trash bags from inside the playhouse and just set them out on the porch of the playhouse prior to going through the pictures we just looked at, processing the removal of the layers leading to the body of Evelyn. Just another picture, trash can. Evelyn still remains in there. You also see the chewing gum on the inside wall of trash can there, and the other bags of trash. This next one is the 2 bags of trash that was removed from the playhouse with the trash can. Another angle of those 2 bags of trash that was removed from the playhouse there on the front porch of the playhouse.
So were there any other items besides those 2 bags of trash and the trash can that were taken out of the playhouse?
Not that I recall. It was all the trash bags and what remaining contents of the trash can.
Okay. the 6 photos that you just described and identified, do they true and accurately depict those items as you found them on
Yes,
March
sir.
the 6th, 2020?
Yes, sir, they do.
Judge, we would move to introduce those, I believe, exhibits 39 through 44.
Go, Judge. Before exhibits 39 through 40.
Not asked to publish those to the jury at this time, Judge. Agent Fraley, we're going to start with exhibit 39.
Yes, sir. Again, top view looking down into the trash can. And like I said, the most notable thing that's descriptive is a Martha White chocolate chip cookie bag.
Anything else in the trash can besides that on the bottom?
I mean, there's
Is that what was found when you removed the trash bag?
yeah. So once we remove the body the trash bag that contained the body, this was in the bottom of that.
Now showing you exhibit 40.
Yes, again, a top view again of the trash can that shows the fleece blanket and chewing gum there on the inside wall of the trash can.
And if you would just kind of point out or
I'm
use
sorry,
the laser
yeah.
pointer to show what.
Yeah, so this right here, it's a piece of chewing gum that was removed, collected as evidence, and sent to our crime lab. And again, there's that fleece blanket that we've been going through earlier.
All right. So that was taken before the body was removed from the.
Yes, sir.
Now showing you exhibit 41.
Again, this was prior to processing. This was just simply removing those items. That includes the trash can and these 2 trash bags from inside the playhouse. That's prior to laying out the body bag and removing the trash bag with Evelyn's body onto this front porch. But this is where all of that was processed in the field prior to transporting Evelyn to the Forensic Center for autopsy, and prior to collecting, processing, bagging, and packaging the other items to go to our TBI lab for analysis. Again, same
Exhibit 42.
yes, sir. Same picture or same items, just different angle. 2 trash bags, trash can.
And again, that was taken before you all had.
Yes, sir.
Exhibit 43.
Just the 2 trash bags with the trash can out of the view of this particular photograph.
And finally, exhibit 44.
Again, just a different angle of those 2 trash bags without the trash can in that photograph. And both of those are, like I said, we're on the front porch of the playhouse.
Okay. And those 2 trash bags, you all, when I say you all, I mean law enforcement took them and inventoried what was in there.
Yes, sir.
Later on, is that correct?
Yes, and any evidence that was collected that we believe to be probative was sent to our lab for examination.
Agent Fraley, I know you did and you've described a number of different things that you did in the course of this investigation. Did you personally interview Ms. Boswell during this whole process?
Yes, sir, I did.
And in the course of your interviews with her, at some point in time, did she make a statement to you in which she finally admitted that Evelyn, in fact, was not missing, but was in fact dead.
Yes, sir. On February 25th, at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, Sullivan County Sheriff's Detective Jonathan Licklider and I
Okay.
interviewed Megan.
Okay. And at that time, she told you all that, in fact, Megan was deceased. Is that
Yes,
right?
she,
Okay.
that among other things as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
During that interview, did she describe or give any description of the clothing that Evelyn was wearing?
She did. Described a purple fleece onesie with penguins on it that she was clothed in.
Okay. Did she describe anything else that was with the body or with Evelyn?
Yes, she had stated she had wrapped her in a dark fleece blanket.
And how did you, I know we've seen pictures, but how did you find Evelyn? What was she wearing and what was she
Those
wrapped in?
exactly what Megan had described to us for the clothing and the blanket.
All right. Thank you, Agent Fraley. If you
Yes,
would
sir.
answer any questions, Mr. Scott or Mr. Bond.
Jury's lunch is here, so we're going to break. We'll be back about 1:15. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have you go with the court officer.
I'll stand, please.
Be seated. Now, I've also got information that the witness that in question is out in the lobby. Do you want me to bring him in and give him a bond? Otherwise, he'll be in custody of the sheriff. Because the order didn't have a bond set.
I would prefer that. I also ask, we instruct him to talk to us before, I guess. Well, okay. I mean, otherwise I'll just ask that he be held without bond.
I don't care what you do, with him, but I don't think it's supposed to.
Okay, let's
Tell a witness
No,
to
I
talk
can't
to someone or not.
Keep telling me, it has to talk to you.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll tell him.
You want it brought
I
in.
can tell him if he doesn't come back and I don't come back, that he'll be held.
Yeah, that's fine. And
Yeah, bring him in.
You want me to step down, Your Honor,
Yeah.
to provide this for him?
Tell discuss with-
Yes, sir.
You can't discuss this with any other witness or allow them to discuss their. What's his name? I don't have the word.
Austin Feller.
Last name?
Feller, F-E.
Feller, F-E-L-L-E-R.
Mr. Feller?
Yes, sir.
You were served as a subpoena in the court Monday, and you didn't come, which is why we're here today with you in custody. I'm going to set $500 secure bond. You can make that through a bond company. You are a material witness in this case. What happens if you don't come back to court after you make that bond? And you are now instructed by this court that you will appear at this court no later than 9 Sunday, that includes Saturday, until you are either called as a witness or released as a witness. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you fail to do that, and we have to come find you again, you'll be held in custody of the sheriff with no bond until the case is over. And that could take us about 3 weeks. That would be nowhere to go.
Yes, Your Honor.
You need to be here back at 1:15 if you make that bond.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, if you don't mind, now, close it. If you don't mind, just sort of say, oh, that's. All right, we'll be back at 1:15.
Court stands in recess. Judge, I want to suffer with a bond on it.
Did you guys remove your mic from your check? Is it still on?
I got sent back off, but I thought we was cutting our mic off.
All right, guys.
Oh,
What do you guys think so far? Wow,
wanna-
Dale, this is heavy, isn't it?
I'm telling you, like, listen, I know you've seen and dealt with this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't even look at this baby's face, Doodle. This is killing me. I mean,
Oh, I know.
and knowing what this trash did with no care, no thought to, she put her in a garbage can upside down
Right?
in a shed full of garbage and didn't even think twice about it. Went off to live her life being happy, and this baby's late.
She went out and partied. Yeah, she went out and partied with that guy. She cried, fake tears, saying her mom stole her. Then it changed to what? The babysitter, and yeah, it's so sad.
This already brought tears to my eyes once. I can't understand.
They go, you can't listen. If you can't, step away. I mean,
I
you're
know
you're
that.
alive
I
anyway.
know. Yeah, I know
Oh, okay.
that.
I
I'm
just
just
don't want it
saying,
to
what
get
I'm
too
saying
heavy.
is that I can't understand how somebody can breathe oxygen and be a human being and be this way. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, right. Where's that music coming from? Is that on court TV?
It might be. Yeah, you might have to mute them.
I have. Let's see. I
There you
have
go.
them muted, so I bet I have some kind of music going on here. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
let's
she doesn't care about anything. Obviously, you guys, nothing. It's just.
Yeah,
ugh.
that is terrible. Oh, yeah, I did. It's me. Hang on, just a second. I'll get that off there. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even realize that was on. Well, no, I still hear it.
I don't hear it now. I did.
You don't hear it?
earlier.
Okay.
No, it's gone now.
All right.
Maybe
Okay.
it's ringing in your head.
Very could be. Is that you, Lord? No.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, this is a horrible situation. Like this, Leilani was hard to watch, but Staunch was hard to watch. Anthony was hard to watch.
Right.
This kind of overlays those, in my opinion, a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's been a while since I've seen one like that.
Oh, definitely. I agree.
You know,
Could be.
wow. And like I said, you've seen these things. I've seen some of these. You've seen a lot more than I have, but to walk up on something
Yeah.
like this, it's like getting hit in the face with a sledgehammer, you guys. You don't expect it, and you can tell
Right.
yourself,
Right.
I can handle this, it's no big deal, until it happens. And then you want to run for the person that did this to this child, and you can't.
Yeah.
You just can't.
That's right. Right.
That's one thing I've always said with the law enforcement officers. I've used to tell them, including you, like, we don't have to, as first responders, have to deal with the legal end of this and the people. We just deal with the patients and move forward. You
Right.
you guys have to deal with this and keep, your head up and your hands to yourselves. And I just don't know that I could do it. I don't. It would be so hard for me. So
Yeah,
you got to give credit. You got to give credit to law enforcement, guys. You really do.
I am. I still hear that music. You guys do not hear that, really?
I don't. It
And
maybe
I
it's
have
something.
my background music turned off. Do you have yours on, Dago?
No, I don't. I don't
What?
know. There's nothing because I don't have my side turned on to where I can run anything.
Well, see, it's running on your side though because you're up here. I wonder if you have yours because mine's muted.
Mine's muted too.
Oh, really? Wonder where that's coming from.
I have no.
You don't hear it
I
though? As long as you
no.
guys don't hear it, it's good. But I hear like elevator music.
Hold on. Don't say anything for 1 second. I want to watch and see if your thing. No, you're not blinking.
Well, what?
I have no
Okay,
idea what
well,
it is.
maybe it's the other person in my head. Woo, it's playing music.
I don't see anything. Let me look and see if I have something going over here on the other side. Well, hold on. You know what? Let me try this, Doodle. Tell me if it stops when
Okay.
I do this.
Okay. Nope, I still hear it. So it has to be
Okay.
something I have playing. I don't
Yeah, let me.
know.
Do you have
uh,
maybe another something else up in the background, the tack that you didn't take down or something, maybe?
no, no,
Yeah, I don't hear
nothing.
anything, but it's only on your side. Is there something else playing in your
Yeah.
background
Oh,
in the
no.
living room or something?
Oh, no, no, this is at I have nothing on at all inside my home. TVs are off. So if you guys don't
Sarah,
hear it, I'm good. I just don't know what I got going
Sarah
on.
said the court TV's playing it, but you have them muted, so that doesn't make sense.
Well, I have them muted. I wonder if because I have it to the screen. If I took them off? Nope, I still hear it.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Good
I
morning.
mean, it's okay. I mean,
Good
see,
afternoon,
Doodle, scroll
Mother.
your sidebar and scroll the bottom and see. I did, Mom, and I don't see anything. You know where it says, like, yeah, I have it at the very bottom where it says background music. Yeah, I've got it off.
I don't know. Good morning, Mother. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, it's super quiet, so I
Yeah, it
don't hear
could
it.
just be them doing it, which is fine. It's fine. I just was trying to figure out if it was on my end. I thought, "Oh, I'm doing something wrong."
Sorry, afternoon, Mother. Sorry.
Oh, your mom's in your chat? Hi,
Yeah,
Mama
she just
Dago.
afternoon.
Aw. Yeah, how sad. I mean, look how beautiful her eyes are. She's a beautiful baby girl. Just
I
beautiful.
can't. You guys, she's
I know.
so adorable. And for this mother to be able to just I can't understand. Like, okay, I've heard cases, we've all heard of cases with babies, okay?
Right.
And good morning, Mina Monsters. Oh, she said I said mother and she thought I was talking to mom. Sorry. It's okay.
Hello,
They're
second
both
mother.
they're both in here. Mind of Monsters, which counts for mom, and then my mother's in here too. So again. Um, anyway, now I hear it, Doodle.
The music? Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know what's
now I
going on.
hear it.
I
That's
think it's
weird.
court TV.
Even if they're muted, you still wow, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how
But
that's even possible, but it is.
we've seen other cases where actual mothers, have had maybe actually, yeah, rolled over on the baby and something happened and it's an accident, but they know to
Yeah,
do the
but
right
this is
thing.
filicide. This absolutely is filicide. She took her own
Absolutely.
daughter.
Absolutely. And there was no care. There was no love put into what she did. She
I
didn't
agree.
wrap the baby in her favorite blanket. She didn't put anything. She just tossed her away like a
Right.
piece of garbage. It's disgusting.
Well, I don't know if your chat got to see what wisdom
Yes.
what wisdom
Well,
thinks
I
about
did.
this. Here. Yeah. Let me see if I can find this again and I'll show you guys how wisdom feels about this.
I'd like to shoot you in the ass with the BB gun. Lay there in the tall grass and laugh at what I'd done. Put a blood blister upon each bun. I'd like to shoot you in the ass with the BB gun.
I want that gremlin. Whoever got that gremlin puppet, I'd love to have that. Yeah, this one, I can't believe it. Is it because there's no death penalty in the state?
I
Is that-
don't know. I'm assuming that's probably why. Because if it is, I can't see why they would not be definitely going after that. You know?
Not with this one. No, I agree.
Thank you, Wisdom. It's a court TV music. So even though I have it muted, it's still doing it.
It's weird.
Yeah, I can't control it. I mean, I could remove it from the screen. Let's see.
Oh, it's gone.
But the music's still
It's
there
gone.
though. Oh, the
The music stopped.
music's still going?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, because I hear it.
You have it up in the background still. You might still have.
Yeah, I have
the,
it. I have it where I can just
That's
where
why.
I can add it to the stage. Yeah. Well, I guess it's really not going to matter then. I'll just put it back up there.
That
so you
is
don't miss
that
it.
is a gremlin, Miss Sarah.
Yeah, that's a gremlin.
It don't. The music don't bother me, Doodle. If it doesn't bother you, I just.
Okay. Back at
1:15.
1:15. So at my time, it's only 11:10. So their time would be 12:10. So we
It's
still have an
12:10
hour
here.
and 15 minutes. Oh wow. What are we gonna do for an hour and 15 minutes?
Have you pulled anything up on this case to show how everything went before the trial?
No, I'm not positive how to do that or which ones I can play without getting a strike. So I haven't. I don't know. I don't even know. Can you do that from your side?
I probably.
I've never done that. I don't know.
I could pull things up and show them because you're the lead on this. So hold on a minute.
See, I don't know. I'm new to this. It's the first time for me here.
Hold on a second. Let me try something here real quick. And if it works, then you can do it. If not, then we'll see what happens here.
Okay. I was going to do the missing flyers, but I kind of want to keep this about Evelyn today because everyone let her down. And I think today should be about Evelyn.
Right. Let's see here. Here, you want to run a? I know you can run
you know
a.
what? I
I know
bet
you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, that's how I can do it. I didn't pause it over on the YouTube side. So that's
Yeah.
why. So that's how I can stop the music. Okay.
Okay.
But I kind of
I
want to
was
leave
gonna-
it playing just in case so we know when they're coming back for sure. So what do you think?
You could either whatever you want to do. This is your bowl.
Okay.
Of
And I'll
wax
just
here.
turn the volume down a little bit so we can still hear, and then I'll turn it back up whenever it gets
Right.
close.
Now, what I was going to tell you could do is I know you can run. I have a court TV like segment on this with Vinny, and I know you can run that without getting hit with
Okay.
anything. If you want, I can throw that over here, and you can play that. It's like 43 minutes, and that would cover a little bit of time between.
Okay. All right.
Hold on, let me see if I can bring it over to you. Hopefully,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this works.
that's all right. Hold on. Is it this one? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yep. Here we go. Hold on. We turn the volume on. There's that. And then you'll go. Hold on. And go ahead and pull that up on the screen.
Okay,
Like
let
you
me
presented.
pause. Let me pause over here so that music can go away. So we'll just someone remind me right beforehand, like right after this, to go back and unpause that because I am very forgetful sometimes.
I will let you know. I
Okay.
just wrote a note too.
Okay, thank you.
Now, this
All right,
could be
guys,
for
we'll
people-
play this.
For people that weren't 100% familiar with this case and didn't know exactly what all went down, as we'll see why she's on trial and the things that are going to be presented during the trial, you'll understand it per se. Okay, are you ready with it?
Yeah, it's showing. All you gotta do is hit play.
I'm Vinny Politan. The subject of my investigation is the murder of baby Evelyn. She was just 15 months when she went missing, but it took another month and a half for someone to call police. This story beyond tragic. Here's more.
I just want her back. That's all I want. I've been so long without her.
That's 18-year-old Megan Boswell in February of 2020 talking about her missing toddler, Evelyn.
Evelyn. Hi.
15-month-old Evelyn was reported missing in February, even though she was last seen months before.
Mwah. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me and I just want her back.
Boswell told police her mother had taken Evelyn.
We've been looking for baby Evelyn since last Tuesday. We've been working 24/7 nonstop. We've received a number of conflicting, inaccurate statements from the mother, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother.
When Evelyn wasn't with Megan's mother or her own father, the investigation revealed Megan was lying.
As a result, she has been charged with false reporting.
Megan was arrested and taken into custody. 10 days later, 2 months after Evelyn was last seen, Megan's father called police and suggested they search his property.
During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl.
Megan was charged with premeditated murder, child abuse, child neglect, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and 12 counts of lying to police.
We have filed a notice to seek a sentence of imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole.
Court testimony revealed Evelyn was found in Megan's old playhouse behind a shed, tightly wound in a fleece blanket, wrapped in aluminum foil, then a trash bag, and shoved head first while alive into a trash can. The medical examiner determined her death was intentional. What the medical examiner said, she was alive when she was wrapped, placed upside down in that trash bin in the playhouse on the property, discarded, while she was still alive. Now, when this story happened, we began covering it as a missing child. And we're wondering, where is baby Evelyn? And Megan had spoken out and had said some things and had a story about what happened. And that brings us to the first question in our investigation. Does Megan's story make sense? Didn't make sense to investigators. They charged her with lying. That's how they first arrested her. And they've also said that her story has vacillated and changed. Seen this before. And sometimes people who do lie like that don't get convicted. Joining me to help us through all this, clinical and forensic neuropsychologist, author of the book, The New Rules of Attachment, Dr. Judy Ho is with us. Also joining us, body language expert and author of the New York Times bestselling book, You Can't Lie to Me, Janine Driver. Great to see you both. Let's start here. I'm going to play for you Megan Boswell's interview with WJHL. We've got, not a lot of it, but we've got enough of it to have an idea of what her story is and what she's saying and how she's saying it. I want you both to watch it carefully and then give me, from your perspectives, your analysis of what we heard initially from Megan Boswell. Let's take a look.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her. She was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with a matching bow and little matching shoes a little bit before Christmas. I was trying to protect my mom, maybe in hopes, she'd just tell them where Evelyn was, but obviously she's not going to. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself.
When did you know that something was wrong?
Just when she left and took off, and just to answer her phone, or the person that is in Mendota has had her the whole time.
Very specific story. Janine Driver, I know the clips are quick, but you're quick too in picking things up. What did you see here, Janine?
First of all, nice to see you, Dr. Judy. I love you, sister. And nice to see you, Vinny. All right. First of all, she does some mouth stretching here, Vinny and Dr. Judy, and you at home. Is her mouth pulls into the side a little bit. It's called mouth stretching. And this is done with suppressing of information and internal conflict. And also when someone made a mistake, think about it. You're going to do a keynote presentation, Vinny, or you're at CrimeCon. and you forgot your cord to charge your computer. You go, forgot the cord. It's connected with fear. So we have that. Now let's get out of body language really quick, because the biggest thing here that tell that there's more to the story is the word obviously. Obviously is trying to sell us a bill of goods. It's saying it's self-evident, it's undeniable. When people say obviously, truthful people convey, liars are trying to convince us. Why? To avoid deeper scrutiny. I got my list here really quick, Vinny, and you at home and you, Dr. Judy. Elizabeth Holmes, obviously the technology is accurate and reliable. Roger Goodell lying about the Ray Rice sucker punch of his fiance. Obviously, we have a very firm policy on domestic violence. Lance Armstrong, obviously I've never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Bill Clinton, obviously the relationship was completely professional. So we hear this with a lot of killers, a lot of people who are withholding information, whether it has to do with the political world, sports world. You're holding something back, obviously, is a huge hot spot.
Okay, Dr. Judy Ho, she was a teen mom, and then her child disappeared. She was still a teenager. She's young. She appears a little bit younger than she actually was, Megan Boswell, but obviously a very young mom. The father of the child is not around. He was in the military and was stationed elsewhere around this time. What are you hearing and what are you seeing from Megan Boswell?
Well, Janine made some great observations, and I will just add that Megan does, as you just mentioned, Vinny, act and behave younger than her chronological age. Sometimes in this interview, her emotions just seem like they're not totally matching to the context, the situation. We look for that a lot as psychologists. We look at whether or not someone's affect, their displayed emotion matches the situation, matches what they're talking about, the situation that they're in. And it just seems like her emotions, as you're even playing these clips as I'm speaking, they are vacillating a lot. And sometimes they may not be matching exactly what you think it should be displayed at when somebody has a specific topic that they're talking about. In this case, missing child. What's your emotional reaction to that?
Absolutely. Let's do this. There's a timeline because her story seems to change a little bit as well. February 18th, 2020, EVELYN Boswell reported missing, not seen since December of 2019. That's a problem, right? Megan tells investigators EVELYN is with her father, Ethan Perry. That's the young man who's in the military. February 19th, the next day, TBI issues an Amber Alert. February 21st, Megan tells reporters with WCYB she left EVELYN with someone while she went to work. 3 days later, Megan tells WJHL her mother left EVELYN with someone at a campground in Mendota. A campground. The next day, Megan tells investigators EVELYN is dead. She says she or her boyfriend rolled over her while sleeping. Megan's charged with false reporting and taken into custody. March 6th, EVELYN's remains are finally discovered on the family property on Muddy Creek Road. August 19th, she's indicted on 19 counts, including 2 counts of felony murder. And then in June of 2024, she's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Janine Driver, when there's different stories at different times and seemingly changing from day to day, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I guess what the jury will have to figure out and what prosecutors have to surmise is which one is the truth. If you have someone who's giving different stories and you're looking.
There's no way in hell this was an accident. This was absolutely planned. That I don't care what anybody says on that. There's no
I
way.
have to agree. I agree.
Wholeheartedly, 100% premeditated. She knew what she was doing, when she was doing it, and why. So.
Yeah,
sorry
because
to
she
interrupt.
liked that guy. She wanted that guy.
Right, and you saw what she did, Doodle, right after this all went down. She went and lived her best life and was happy as could be. She got what she wanted.
With the guy. Yep.
Piece
No
of
remorse
shit.
for anyone but herself.
Exactly, and now that's the only reason why she's crying, guys, because she is missing out on what she did this for. She's not living that life now. She's in jail. She can't have that guy. Oh well, you know. God, this is like a mixture of Leilani, Casey Anthony, and Stout, as far as I'm concerned, thrown together in a blender, and here we are. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's sickening. And look at her face. It's like you can tell she's got that all about her face. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, and there's almost a grin behind this, if you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, like she thinks she's won.
Mm-hmm. Insane.
And yet those
Dude.
officers have to see her baby that way the rest of their life. Like every night when they close their eyes, they will forever see that baby.
Yes, it'll never go away, you guys. It never goes away. I told you, it looks like she's smirking. I agree with you, SRB. And here's what I'm saying earlier about law enforcement. You guys are amazing because the officers that had to transport this piece of garbage to the jail without trying to end her,
Self-discipline.
you just can't.
Self-discipline is a must.
It's unbelievable to me. So you got to be somebody special to do it, in my opinion. I'm just saying. All right, I'll shut up now. Sorry. I just had to say that. It was driving me nuts.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Sorry, you guys. That was my mistake. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Where were we at? Right about there. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Well, Janine made some great observations, and I will just add that Megan does, as you just mentioned, Vinny, act and behave younger than her chronological age. Sometimes in this interview, her emotions just seem like they're not totally matching to the context, the situation. We look for that a lot as psychologists. We look at whether or not someone's affect, their displayed emotion matches the situation, matches what they're talking about, the situation that they're in. And it just seems like her emotions, as you're even playing these clips as I'm speaking, they are vacillating a lot. And sometimes they may not be matching exactly what you think it should be displayed at when somebody has a specific topic that they're talking about. In this case, missing child. What's your emotional reaction to that?
Absolutely. Let's do this. There's a timeline because her story seems to change a little bit as well. February 18th, 2020, Evelyn Boswell reported missing, not seen since December of 2019. That's a problem, right? Megan tells investigators Evelyn is with her father, Ethan Perry. That's the young man who's in the military. February 19th, the next day, TBI issues an Amber Alert. February 21st, Megan tells reporters with WCYB she left Evelyn with someone while she went to work. 3 days later, Megan tells WJHL her mother left Evelyn with someone at a campground in Mendota. A campground. The next day, Megan tells investigators Evelyn is dead. She says she or her boyfriend rolled over her while sleeping. Megan's charged with false reporting and taken into custody. March 6th, Evelyn's remains are finally discovered on the family property on Muddy Creek Road. August 19th, she's indicted on 19 counts, including 2 counts of felony murder. And then in June of 2024, she's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Janine Driver, when there's different stories at different times and seemingly changing from day to day, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I guess what the jury will have to figure out and what prosecutors have to surmise is which one is the truth. If you have someone who's giving different stories and you're looking at their body language, if they're all recorded, are there things that you can find? Can you tell when someone is switching from a lie to the truth or from a lie to a truth to the lie?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. First of all, we're looking for, and I love what Dr. Judy was talking about, is like this affect. If you're telling me you're sad and you're scared, I'm looking for sadness and fear in your face, a micro expression at least. What we saw here, even in that last clip you showed us, was laughing. That's called duping delight. It's like I got away with something. There was a guy, I don't know if you remember, you at home or you, Vinny, Neil Entwistle out of Massachusetts.
Yes.
He killed his young daughter, and he was laughing in court. I remember Court TV way back in the day called me on that. And while they were showing the onesie covered in blood as evidence, he's laughing. Duping delight is, I'm getting away with something. So in that last clip, we've got this affect that's out of place with what she's talking about. And that smile right there. Susan Smith did that, remember back in 1994, when she killed her 2 young sons and put them in a car and drowned them. So with regard to looking at affect with the, whatever story she's telling me in that moment, I'm looking, does her body language and do her word choices, are they congruent with what she's saying? That's number 1. Number 2, when we lie, we'll do things like we'll touch our eye. When we touch our eye, it tickles our brain and relaxes us. So when there's an increase in stress, increase in face touches happen. Sighing happens. We sigh, the average person sighs 5 times to 10 times in an hour, the average person. But when we start to lie and tell a story, you can even see this on Tonight Show when Jimmy Fallon would do a game where you have to pull an object out of a box and either tell the truth or lie. Google that and look at John Cena, and you'll hear just before he makes up his lie describing something, he goes, ah. And Jimmy busts him. He's like, dude, that's your lie. So when there's a sigh going on, it means there's more to the story going on. So there are a lot of different tells we're looking for and listening for. And I think the jury's going to get this right because she's all over the place.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. Judy Ho is going to stay with us. Big thank you to Janine Driver. Coming up next, why did it take so long to report Evelyn missing?
This case is unlike anything I've ever been involved in. We've had a child that's not been seen by the parents or certain family members in almost 2 months.
Widow or mastermind behind a murder.
Monica Cimentilli is accused of plotting to kill her husband.
Famed celebrity
hairstyle. Cross state lines and sailing. And, I always think of the worst, but, we just got to hope and pray little Evelyn's okay and we can get her.
Just look
I'm
at her
sorry.
dancing around. Beautiful baby. God.
Yeah,
Ugh.
this is what's killing me is looking at this
Yeah.
beautiful angel just being alive and so vibrant, happy and beautiful and perfect.
Innocent. Yes.
Right. And this trash just because she's so selfish
Wow.
and had to have things her way. Couldn't handle it. Do you know how many people,
Entitled.
and I think Mrs. T just said this, Doodle. We've said this before. We said this in Leilani's case and in Summer's case and so many other cases. How many people would give everything in their whole world to have this baby, to be able to take care of her and love her?
Definitely. Look at Arctic. Arctic would love to have a child of his own.
Oh my God,
come
yeah.
on. You know what he would give for this baby? I mean, wow.
And she just so selfish. She couldn't think that far ahead of herself to be able to do something like that instead. Unbelievable to me. I just don't get it. I don't.
I wouldn't want to be her soul come Judgment Day. Just saying.
Oh, she's sitting there at least number 2 or number 3 behind a couple others.
Oh yeah.
God, I can't handle the understanding with this.
Hi, Mrs. T.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying with that, Sarah. That is what allegedly speculating says about Jen Soto, that every time she lies, she sighs. It does happen, guys. There's a lot of signs.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot just from doing what we do out here, not to mention the things that we already know. You can pretty much tell every word that these people say that's not true. And just watch their faces.
And if you look at some past interviews with like Scott Peterson to some of the cases that are open right now, you will get a really big eye opener. I watched that documentary deal on him on Netflix, and it reminded me of one certain person on a local missing child case, and I was like, wow, it just hit me, and I thought, oh my goodness, I've never noticed that before.
Yep. My Brandy watched that. She loved that, actually. That's all her thing, that whole psychology stuff that she's about into.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just intrigued by
watch
it.
this and look at that and look at this. And she points all these things out, and it's like, wow, you're right. And we see it all the time with these cases, you guys. And it's like our hands are tied because there's things you want to do to like grab them and go, you did this. This is why we know, and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing we can do. We have to wait until this point. And I have a really good feeling with this one, that this jury is just it's gonna be like a 10-minute deliberation and they're done. And she's guilty.
Well, I don't think it can be 10 minutes. They'll have to the judge will make them. But yeah, it'll be fast. I think it won't take them long to realize, wow, she's a monster.
There's no doubt. And there's no way, like Miss Sherry said something earlier about the defense. There's no defense you could bring out that's going to make anybody think any different than what she did. Truly. I can't imagine it. I just can't.
No, I mean, I couldn't even imagine how they would even go about trying. I mean,
Right.
it's an open shut deal. It's just the process,
The whole, yeah. And that's the rough part, is having to go through all this again and so on and so forth. And that's why I brought this up. So a lot of people could actually understand the depth of this and what she did as compared to, it's just, and I was just being exaggerant when I said 10 minutes. I just meant quickly. I should have just
I
said
knew
quickly.
she'd get you. Miss Court here. She knows her
I
stuff.
know, she knows. She definitely, Miss Sherry, Wisdom Speaks, worked in the court system, so she knows all these things. But
Yeah,
yeah,
she's who I go
was
to with all my questions.
100%. I was just being exaggerant, so I'll make sure I say it clearly next time, Miss Wisdom. I promise.
If not, she'll get you.
Right.
As soon as possible. This case is unlike anything I've ever been involved in. We've had a child that's not been seen by the parents or certain family members in almost 2 months.
Think about that last statement by the sheriff for just a second. Let it sink in. 15-month-old, right? A 15-month-old. When you have a family and there's a 15-month-old in the family, that baby, that child, that little girl is the star of the show. She is the center of the universe for a family. And this child is missing for almost 2 months, and no one's like, hey, where's the baby? Where's little Evelyn? I want to give her a hug. Like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Here's the original Amber Alert, and this is when we first started covering this story. As soon as we saw this, Evelyn has blonde hair, blue eyes, stands 2 feet tall, weighs 28 pounds, was last seen wearing a pink suit, pink shoes, and a pink bow. She was entered as a missing child on Tuesday, February 18th, 2020, but was reportedly last seen on December 26th, the day after Christmas, 2019. Brings us to the next question in our investigation. And this is an important one. This is the one that got everyone so riled up. Why did it take so long to report Evelyn missing? Right? Well, if someone's responsible for her death, I can understand that, right? But this is a beautiful little girl. Where is everybody? Still with us, neuropsychologist Dr. Judy Ho, and joining us, reporter and anchor for WCYB. She has covered this story and this case since the beginning. Kristen Kwan is with us. All right, Kristen, let me begin with you. Like, what is going on? Like, there's a family here, right? I mean, there's a father, I believe he's in the military, but there's family members around, uncle, grandma, grandpa, I don't know who else is in her life. What was going on here for almost 2 months?
Yeah, so you can imagine this case, when this all happened, we were tracking down every person that might have come in contact with Megan just to find out that exact question. What exactly happened to Evelyn, and who knows where she is? So we were trying to talk to everyone, her mom, her dad, grandma, grandpa, just to see what kind of answers we could find. When we spoke with Megan, she told us that the reason that she didn't report her missing for so long was because she knew who had her. And she was afraid that if she went and told that person, oh, giving back my baby, they would vanish with her forever.
Dr. Judy Ho sounding a lot like Zanny the Nanny from a case I covered many years ago down in Florida. Kelly Marie Anthony went missing. That was 31 days. And then finally, grandma and grandpa put their foot down and said, that's it. Where is Kaylee? And when Casey couldn't answer the question, they called. It seems like something similar happened here because it was grandpa who ends up calling. It wasn't Megan. What's the psychology here to just like people aren't going to notice that a 15-month-old beautiful child is missing?
Right. And some of what we don't know is what were the conversations in between these 2 months between Megan, the parents? Did they talk? Did she make up stories in between and say, oh, yeah, she's just playing in the backyard, so you can't see or talk to her now? I don't know how many times they may have attempted to check on her and how many times Megan may have said things that sounded reassuring, at least on the phone, that seemed like plausible things that could essentially explain why Megan wasn't able to bring her child to the phone so that the grandparents could actually hear her voice. But I'm glad that eventually the grandparents called. Unfortunately, it took 2 months. And then when Megan was interviewed on the other side, she had this story that didn't really make sense, that she knew who had her child. So that's enough for you as a mother? Like, that's enough? What about everything else? How often are you talking to your own child, if that was even a true story? And this, I think, is an indication of how young she is, in terms of her mental age. Like, she's essentially a child herself trying to make up a story. She knows that she's in trouble and she's trying to get out of it. And it's a very juvenile story.
Yep. Younger than Casey Anthony. I think the lies are a little less sophisticated. Casey was very quick on her feet. She could lie super fast. Kristen, what do we know about the living arrangements here for everyone? I understand there's some sort of a family compound that has homes and structures on it where some people are living. Megan, Evelyn, what was their situation? Who else was around?
Yeah, so it kind of seems like Megan kind of bounced around places, but the family compound that you're talking about would be her father's place. So he owns a company in Sullivan County, and he has a house, and then he also has, multiple places where he keeps equipment and things like that. So it's a fairly, I would say a rather large compound. Where he has multiple structures on that compound, including sheds and things of that nature. And then her mother lives, in a separate place, and had a boyfriend at the time. And so it was kind of hectic when we were covering this, because like I said, we were trying to track down anyone that might know Megan or know Evelyn. And so we were kind of running all over the county to try to figure out where she was staying at the time.
Yeah, Dr. Judy Ho, it does seem there was some level of chaos in the home. Now, as you mentioned, Evelyn is young. Now, we just saw, video of mom. She's wearing orange for a reason, because she has run-ins with the law all the time. Police had been to the compound. There were issues there. So there was some level of chaos in the family. So from your perspective, how does all that play into everything that happened here? The chaos that Evelyn may have been subjected to as she's growing up and now trying to raise a child within that chaos that sort of continued.
Well, chaos is unfortunately a huge deterrent to healthy development for babies and for toddlers, because they need consistency and patterns to be able to thrive. So not being able to really understand what's going on and not seeing patterns around her, I'm sure that was very difficult for Evelyn in her early years, for the times that she lived. And I think even for the mom, the fact that she had all of this chaos around her, she's trying to figure it out. It kind of feels like she's trying to run from one crisis to the other. And it's a very, very sad story. It's a very tragic story, because essentially, I think this was going to end up in some kind of disaster. This is actually the worst disaster it could have ended up in, but it could have ended up in CPS at some point. There could have been Child Protective Services involved at an earlier stage. And in some ways, I wish that they were involved in an earlier stage, because maybe this death would have been prevented. But I think that eventually she was going to run into trouble with Child Protective Services or the police, or some type of major consequence. And Evelyn probably would not have ended up in her care anyway.
Yeah, and we're looking at these videos. I think some of these videos were actually shot by Evelyn. Not by Evelyn, by Megan, Evelyn's mom, of these cute little videos. And that's the part that shocks you. How can anyone even consider bringing harm to a child, to that child, to your own child.
Yeah.
Dr. Judy Ho, thank you so much for all your insight and help. Kristen Kwan from WCYB is going to stick around. We have more questions for her. Up next, I just mentioned Casey Anthony, didn't I? Is the case against Megan stronger than the case against Casey? I'm Vinny Politan. We continue our investigation of the murder of baby Evelyn. Her mom was just a teenager when Evelyn was born and was still a teenager when her daughter was killed. And prosecutors want that teenage mom to spend the rest of her life behind bars. Here's the story. Little baby Evelyn lived with her single teenage mom, Megan Boswell, in Sullivan County, Tennessee. She was being raised with the help of her grandparents on the family compound. But in February of 2020, Evelyn was reported missing by her grandpa. Her mom cried on TV looking for her baby, then was arrested for misleading police. Things then changed dramatically in the case when Evelyn was found dead on the family compound. And now Megan has been charged with first-degree premeditated murder. When we first started covering the story, you know the first thing I was thinking about, that woman from Central Florida. I'm going to use her name. I have been using her name during this program, Casey Anthony. Because of this, the initial similarity is so striking that a small child is gone and nobody says anything. In the case of Casey Anthony, it was 30 days, 31 days before that 911 call was made by Cindy and George after Casey could not answer the question, where is Kaylee? And that brings me back to what happened in that case. If you'll recall, the verdict shocked me a little bit. Those of you who were watching me that day probably didn't recognize me. I didn't recognize myself. I'd never been so floored because I was there day in and day out. The evidence. Who lies about their child? If your child is missing, who does nothing? Who would let their child just rot somewhere? And that was basically the defense. And then you know how it turned out. I'm going to close my eyes for a second, but I'll remind you.
As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated manslaughter of a child, verdict is to count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, verdict as to count 4. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of providing false information to a law enforcement officer as charged in the indictment. So say we all, dated Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson.
Is it over? It's over, okay. Thank you. They told me it's over. She lied again, and many of us believe that was sort of like the foundation of a strong case. What mother is going to lie about that? This is the most important thing in your world, in your life. The child, your child. So after that verdict, some reflection and trying to figure out what happened, and I just have looked at every case differently since that point forward in my career. And then another level of skepticism about the strength of evidence. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation. Is the case against Megan stronger than the case against Casey? Because I know how that one turned out. Is the case against Megan for the murder of little Evelyn stronger than the case against Casey that was unsuccessful for the murder of Kaylee Marie? Okay, I need some help. Oh, we're bringing in the heavy hitters. Joining me, former chief judge in Florida. You recognize him, folks. He presided over the Casey Anthony murder trial, America's judge, Belvin Perry, and criminal defense and family law attorney in Western Tennessee, Courtney Simmons is with us. Great to have you both here. Let me start with the lies. Judge, I thought the lies were the foundation against Casey. Are the lies more incriminating in this case? Do you think they'll carry more weight?
The answer to that, Vinny, is yes. She lied at least 4 times. When you take the lies and apply those to the death, in this particular case, you have a cause of death, asphyxiation. You have someone that puts someone in a trash can, suffocates them by the use of a blanket and aluminum foil, which the medical examiner will more than likely elaborate on the details surrounding how that child died and how that child suffered. So you have lies plus concrete evidence dealing with the cause of death.
You bring up a great point, Judge, and I want to put this up on the screen. This is from TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent David Gratz. We found the remains inside of a building that was referred to by the family as the Playhouse. It was out behind what I would call a storage building on the property, and what I would call a storage building, and the Playhouse was built by the defendant's Megan's grandfather as a playhouse for her when she was a child. So the playhouse that it was Megan's playhouse where Evelyn was found. And it was Megan's grandpa who had built that on the family property. And Judge, what's significant to me about that is, one, comparing this to the Casey Anthony case, is that when Kaylee Marie, by the time that police finally found her, after Roy Kronk calls a second time months later about finding the remains of baby Evelyn are in much better shape and tell more of a story than little Kaylee's remains told.
Absolutely. The autopsy tells us a lot about how she died, about how she suffered. And as I previously stated, those factors were missing in the Anthony case. It was dry bones. There was nothing for the medical examiner to say except that she died by unnatural causes.
Right. So here, it's a stronger case for murder because of the remains. Then you look at where she was found, to draw that nexus that you would get rid of a body in a place that was your place. Like, this was her place on the property. This was Megan's playhouse. It had nothing to do really with anyone else in the family. So that's another connection versus where Kaylee was found, which was close to the house, not on the property, but in a random place in the woods, just off the road around the corner from the house.
But remember, Vinny, there was evidence presented where a dog found the smell of death near the playhouse in the backyard of the Anthony's residence, and there was a shovel that was found where it looks like she attempted to bury her by the playhouse in the backyard.
Wow. Another similarity between these two. There are so many. The delay in reporting. Now, I want to put this up on the screen again.
It almost makes me wonder, Doodle. I wondered that earlier, too. If that she did what she did is because that she followed what Casey did. You know what I mean?
I don't think she's that smart.
I mean, That's what I think it is that she's not smart and that went looking for ways to do what she did. You know what I mean?
I hate to say this, but I really feel like Casey and her both feel this entitlement to everything because they were probably not disciplined and their parents probably always took the blame for everything they did. So
Yes.
therefore, that's why they place the blame on their parents because that's all they know.
They're spoiled, rotten.
Yeah.
They always got what they wanted. You're right. You are
More than
absolutely
spoiled,
right.
you would have to just be a demon to do this to your child. I mean,
Of
so
course.
spoiled and just evil.
And of
Terrible.
course, the entitlement, you're right, because Casey did show that. We know that. And this girl, well, the world owes me something. I'm supposed to be able to have a life, and I can't with this damn baby, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's how these people act. It's disgusting. I agree with you. Yeah, I do agree with you. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, 100%, Doodle. You're right. And it's sickening. It's sickening because you chose to lay down to have this baby. And you can't give up your life to raise your child, the life that you created?
Right. And I guarantee you when they got pregnant, they only did that for the attention of being babied while pregnant. Because
Yep.
I've seen this so much and it's sickening. Because
Yep.
my grandson's mother is, well, egg donor is the same exact way. So when I see these women doing this, I'm like, nope. Somebody has to step in. Someone has to, because if
That
not, you see the outcome.
that is exactly what Juniper, my granddaughter, that's what her mother did.
See?
She loves
And
she loves
it's
it. That's
fearful.
100%. That's why Junie, my son, and her mother split up because once Junie was born and all the staying awake
All
all
the
night.
attention was on Junie. Yep.
Yep. 100%. Shane took everything. She didn't want nothing to do with it. And she still doesn't. She still doesn't want anything to do with it. It's disgusting, but that's okay because, well, that's why we have Junie a lot. And it's worth every minute of it to me. So
You bet. You bet.
anyway, I'll shut up again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're all right.
And this is from this TBI special agent. This is an alleged somewhat of an admission, but not really. She did say she was aware that Evelyn was dead. However, she told the story that it resulted from either her or Hunter Wood rolling over the child while sleeping. That was her boyfriend, but she did not know the location of Evelyn's body. This now sounds almost exactly like Casey's defense. Accidental death, and I don't know what happened to the body afterwards. And, you know, the jury didn't convict Casey, even though she knew that her daughter was dead and moved on with her life, but claimed she didn't know where the baby was, much like Casey's defense argued inside that courtroom.
I would be shocked and amazed if this jury, somewhere in the recesses of their mind, would think of the Casey Anthony case. And there, more than likely, is going to be a different result.
So what you're telling me, Judge, and you have presided over these cases, you have tried these cases for so many years, that the case against Megan strikes you on its face as being stronger than the case against Casey Anthony.
While the Anthony case was strong, this case is significantly stronger. These jurors are not going to leave their common sense on the courthouse doorstep when they enter.
And what do you think are the potential problems or pitfalls or traps that the prosecution can fall into here? If you were going to advise the prosecution in this case, what would you say to them going into this?
Well, number one, they're going to need to try to explain the conduct of this young lady during the time of missing. They're going to also have to debunk the finger pointing that she did towards the father, towards this mythical neighbor, towards her mother. So in other words, tear down all possible defenses that they may put up. And she's going to also more than likely point the finger at someone else. But, you know, you have the legion of lies, and they're going to have to point out she can't be believed. The defense can't be believed, that the evidence is strong in this case and the evidence is unrefuted.
All right, the judge is going to stay with us. We had some technical difficulties with Courtney. Sorry for that. We'll get her back on another day. Still to come, as the judge is saying, is Megan going to point the finger at her family?
I was trying to protect my mom, maybe in hopes, oh, well, she'd just tell them where Evelyn was, but obviously she's not going to.
Childhood friendship that turned into a feud and ended with shots fired.
Now, famous rapper and Rihanna's significant.
We received the information that led TBI agents and Sullivan County detectives to a property belonging to a family member of Evelyn's mother in the 500 block of Muddy Creek Road in Blumpville. During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl. The remains will be sent for an autopsy and a positive identification. At this time, the investigation is in the very early stages. There's a lot of work left to be done, and right now, this is the extent of what we can provide today.
You could tell from just listening to the sheriff how difficult this was for him. And that, I mean, this is their job. This is what they sign up to do. But these cases are tough. You're looking for a child. You want to find the child. And they found a body instead. So it's on family property. So I want to take a moment just to go through some of the people in Evelyn's family, people who are in the life of this 15-month-old child. Evelyn, obviously, 15 months old, 2 feet, 28 pounds, beautiful blonde hair, blue eyes. Megan is the teenage mother of Evelyn. Okay, she's the one who's been charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Ethan Perry is Evelyn's dad. Megan originally said that Ethan had Evelyn, but it was determined that he was stationed in Louisiana on active duty, so he was eliminated as any suspect. Tommy Boswell Sr., this is Evelyn's grandpa, Megan's father, reports Evelyn missing. He's the one who picked up the phone in February, tells police he hasn't seen her since December of 2019, has a history of domestic violence incidents with Angela Boswell, owns the family compound where he and his son operate a business, and Evelyn's remains were found there. Angela Boswell is Evelyn's mom. Evelyn's grandma, Megan's mom, lengthy criminal record, was arrested with her boyfriend on charges of theft over $2,500 after the vehicle they were driving in was reported stolen. That boyfriend is William McLeod. This is Angela Boswell's boyfriend, arrested in Tennessee, being accused of fleeing town in a stolen car with Angela, lengthy criminal record. And all of this was a big part of the story because originally Megan was saying that her mom had Evelyn. Okay, all of this brings us to the next question, our investigation about this upcoming trial. Is Megan going to point the finger at her family? A lot of people here, some of them have some sort of history, but obviously they are part of her family and in the life of little Evelyn. Still with us, former chief judge in Florida, the Honorable Belvin Perry. And joining us, reporter and anchor for WCYB. She's covered the case since the beginning, Kristen Kwan. Kristen, how would you describe the family dynamics here?
Absolutely chaotic. You know, when we first started covering this, like I said, we were going all over the place, trying to track down whoever we could that would potentially talk to us about when the last time they saw Evelyn. And it was hard to find some of the family members. Some of the family's members didn't want to talk to us, but it was definitely chaotic. I think I remember William McLeod yelling at us to get away from him. So the whole time that we were covering this, it was just kind of a tumultuous experience for sure.
I want to read this, Judge. This is from the Knoxville News Sentinel, giving us some background on this family. Angela Boswell was just 16 when she gave birth to Tommy Boswell Sr.'s first son, Tommy Jr., in '93. In March of 2001, Angela gave birth to the couple's second child, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother. Angela married Tommy Boswell a few months later. By 2009, the couple was back in Sullivan County, settling with the kids in a manufactured home on a plot of land on Muddy Creek Road. but little harmony inside of those walls, court records show. In March of that year, Tommy Boswell Sr. told deputies his wife attacked him, stabbing his neck with an ink pen and struggling with their then 14-year-old son, Tommy Jr., as he tried to rescue his dad. So, Judge, I think the family that Megan is in and that Evelyn is in is a little different than the Anthonys. I mean, George Anthony is a former police officer. Yeah, they had their issues. I think they're all connected to Casey. But this family has had issues with law enforcement. Does that make it easier for Megan to point the finger at someone in her family?
Absolutely, Vinny. She's going to point the finger at her father, Tommy Boswell. He has a long history of domestic violence. She's going to also point the finger at her mother and her mother's paramour. So remember, Casey pointed the finger at George and her brother, talking about they had both sexually assaulted her. So they're going to muddy the waters up as much as possible. And we should not forget, there is an ongoing feud between the defense attorney and the defendant, Megan, about what witnesses to use. She almost tried to get him thrown off the case. So it's going to be finger pointing at its utmost, because other than that, what defense does she have?
Exactly. So, Kristen, this is a long time coming. We're going back to 2020 for all of this, and it's now 2025. Do we have a better idea now from things that have happened as to specifically what the defense may be doing at trial?
Yeah, so, we've also been covering every single court appearance that she's had since this all happened. So it's been years now. I think I've attended pretty much every one of them, but maybe two. So there's definitely things that they're throwing out there. The defense at first wanted to try to get a change of venue, all kinds of different things. But I do think that they will be looking at the family members for sure. Just because Megan has mentioned her mother before, that her mother was supposed to babysit Evelyn. So I think that the fingers could definitely be pointed towards Angela, but I also wouldn't rule out the boyfriend as well, Hunter, who she said, may have rolled on top of Evelyn. So I could see him being brought into all of this as well.
Wow, a lot at play here. All right, Judge, before we run out of time here, Casey Anthony obviously did not take the witness stand. Do you think Evelyn's mom, Megan, I keep mixing up the names here, Evelyn's mother, Megan, do you think she takes the stand?
Absolutely not. It would be suicidal for her to take the stand and be subject to cross-examination. The prosecutor will have a field day with her.
And Kristen, we have about 15 seconds here. How does she look these days? How much older does she appear? Because she looks so young when little Evelyn went missing.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely looks, I think, older. Of course, it's been a number of years now. Her hair is definitely longer than it was. I don't think it doesn't look like she's had it cut since she's been in jail. But, it's been a long time in the Sullivan County Jail. So it'll be interesting to see, how she looks come trial day.
Absolutely. Kristen Kwan, WCYB, thank you so much. Judge Belvin Perry, always an honor to have your honor with us. Every defendant has some type of defense. It happens in every trial. Even if they've lied or changed their story, they always have a defense. Many times they look for a villain to point the finger at during the trial. And sometimes that works. We'll see what happens in this case. Let's just hope baby Evelyn gets more justice than Kaylee Marie Anthony got years ago.
There you go, guys. Yeah. This is
Yeah,
fuck up.
I know. That's crazy. There's so many similarities and yet so many differences. It's so
Right, and
complicated.
I agree. I think I truly, because we know the defense, they've already pissed a lot of us off. That was talked about already. They're going to try to pull as much attention away from Megan as they can. So now that we know that her family's a disaster, we're going to hear all about the family. 100%. That's where it's all going to come into play. she may try to blame this, that, or whatever, but that's what we're going to hear mostly about. And it's still, in my opinion, anybody that has any sense is not going to even think twice about that. We all have come from different, not all of us, but a lot of people have come from bad family situations, and that doesn't make you kill your child. Sorry.
You're right, it doesn't. I've had some trauma as a child. I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. But you can't take every negative and continue the negative and expect a happy life. You take your pain, you put it in a positive fashion, and then you fight harder and harder each day to be better than you were the day before.
Exactly. You
That's
break
the
that
only way
chain.
I get up. Otherwise,
That's
I don't
right.
get out of bed.
That's right. So that's bullshit to me to try to claim that as an excuse. And anybody with sense, like I said, is going to see it for what it is, an ignorant excuse, and push it right to the side and go for the throat, because that's what they need to do.
It's just sad that they automatically try to blame the parents. It's like, what you've done isn't enough, but you want to railroad your mother and father too. How convenient for you, and how shitty of a person can you possibly be? Really.
Well, I mean, if you saw her face, Doodle, when she said, I don't think she's going to do it, but, I'll do what I have to do to. That was a clear lie, and she did it without even blinking.
And
She's
I feel
evil.
like she thought the mom would take the blame. She
Right.
really felt that.
She probably does. This is that entitlement, going back to what you said. Well, I had a shitty childhood. You owe me this. Really?
Well,
That-
she's seeing about what's about to happen here, and I have followed this from day one. And Evelyn's little smile, it just caught my heart, and I have followed it through. And I'm like
she's so-
mom with how mom is with Maddie. I'm like, I want to see
oh
this
yeah.
through.
Yes. I didn't cover this on purpose, you guys. Because it's rough, and
It's hard.
it's very hard. And the last time when we covered Leilani, a lot of people took that really. This is worse than Leilani's situation, in my opinion. Not that it, to dumb it down, Leilani's situation and Quentin's situation was a horrible situation too. But for some reason, this just seems worse to me. I don't know why.
Well,
And I
because
just
this
kind
is
of,
a 1-year-old.
that's probably why. Yeah.
It's hard.
I just stayed away from it, for that reason personally. But I knew when the trial came that everybody was going to want it. So here we are. And it is important to see it, guys. In my opinion, it's very important to see it. So I
That
think
music is just playing just so we won't miss anything when it comes back.
no, it's okay. Paula, the foil thing, I think guilt maybe to try to hide her face. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. Whether she's a monster or not, your mind is your mind, and it'll still tell you things whether you want to hear them or not. So
I couldn't handle the music. I'll just have to go back. I couldn't handle it.
how is that still playing there?
We should only have, let's see, it would be 111 there, so we only got a few minutes, and they should be right
Yeah,
back.
it's 112 here, so I figured.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's so sad, it's heartbreaking. It really is. She was alive when she put her in there. Now, did she know that she was alive? Does it even matter if she did? No,
it does.
because she did this.
Yeah, that's it right there. What Mom was saying. That's what made me cringe so bad with that, because they found pieces of the foil in her lungs, which tells me she
Oh,
was
well, there. Oh my God, yeah.
struggling so bad. That's disgusting. I mean, it's beyond disgusting to me.
It is. She'll rot in hell for
Yeah,
this.
absolutely horrifying. Yeah, I think she was too, Mom. I think she absolutely knew and just didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, there's a special place in hell for people like this, guys, and
Oh, you
that
bet.
seat,
Yeah.
that seat is sitting there waiting. That's all I can say. I don't care what your sentence is in court. Your real sentence is coming, and it's a real one. So
Yeah, and it's so heartbreaking to think she really thought her parents were gonna just, sure, we did it, whatever.
yeah, no, you can't. That doesn't happen. Not gonna happen. I should say. I'm sorry. Your mom. Everybody in here is pissed. You have to apologize. This is a hard one.
Oh
This is a
yeah, I
really
get it.
hard one.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed myself. How dare this broad think that she could do something like that and just be so entitled and smile? Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's gonna be rough, you guys. I promise you. Be prepared when this defense stands up and starts doing these. It's hard. This
Right.
is probably gonna
Any
be.
moment. And it is important that if you think it's too much, step away. Please
Yeah,
do. Step back, take a breath, go outside, get some fresh air. And if you think you can come back, fine. If not, that's fine too. This is hard. It's a heavy one.
that's why I said that to Cassie when she said she was shaking because she's got babies at home, and I know
Sure.
I went through that, guys. When I had my kids were babies, and I come home from a situation, I had to leave work and go home, and it was just like I can't handle that. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
understood, absolutely understood.
Yes. I mean, it's not like everybody is made for this. It everybody's heart is different and things that they've seen are different. So I get it. I completely understand.
You could be as tough as nails, and this is gonna hit you like a truck. I'm telling you.
If not, then you're not human. I can't
Then you're
imagine
not human. Yep.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you on that one. Um, yeah, when they first, the guys, me too, when they first started describing, um, that detective, when they first started describing, I had tears in my eyes just listening to it, wondering what that man's mind had to go through when he dealt with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
and he
rough.
was so pale, and you could see he was reliving it.
Yes, yes. And that's something, like I said in chat, guys, for anybody that's ever dealt with this, whether it be law enforcement, first responders, anybody that works at a hospital that's dealt with stuff like this, you see that for the rest of your life. It doesn't go away. And it's so hard to, you can push it off in the back of your mind or something, but it'll always come back when you deal with stuff and see stuff like this. It's very hard to deal
Right.
with sometimes. So
Yeah, it is. It is. And even if you have seen this every day, it's not easy. It's just for some of us, we have to see the justice
yes.
to make it easier for our hearts, I guess.
Yeah, it's the only way that it makes it make sense. True.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's just no other way that we can I couldn't watch this if I didn't think justice was going to be served here.
Nope. That's what I was going to say that earlier, that if I didn't think that she would get convicted and put away forever and ever and ever, I probably couldn't watch this. Truly, I couldn't, because I would feel
Right.
like there's no way. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I just keep telling myself, I want to see her face when she realizes her life is over.
yep. Well, and we thought that when we covered Leilani's trial, remember that? And she didn't
Yeah.
react. I think it pissed a lot of us off because she didn't react. And that's where,
Yeah.
and this one, though, she's already crying for herself. So I guarantee you
Mhm.
she's going to have a reaction. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I don't care if she has a reaction or not. I just wanna see her face. I just wanna even if she doesn't make an expression, I wanna see her face to know baby Evelyn's getting her justice today. And which it may
oh,
not be today, of course, it's gonna be throughout could be 2 weeks, but she will get it. I
yeah.
feel like she really will.
Yeah. SRB just said she was told not to react, allegedly. It's probably true. They're back. They're back. She said, Wisdom just said.
Okay.
Um, I agree with you, Mom, on that with Stearns. Yes. I would love to be there for that one. Hey, Demon, good to
That's
see
it
you,
so
man.
far. I've got it to the end, so
Thank you guys for joining us on both sides. I really appreciate you guys today.
To him that I bring that up outside of the presence of the jury. Since then, it's my position, unless I misheard something, I think Mr. Harper questioned him about statements that Ms. Boswell had made to him. And I think that opens the door for me to be able to cross-examine him about the statements that were made. As a doctrine of completeness, you've been part of a statement, the whole statement.
I didn't listen to any testament about what she said.
You asked if in a statement to him, she ultimately admitted that the child was dead.
Okay. But I mean, for him to listen, I mean, it's self-serving hearsay. I mean,
Well, I had to see the statement.
well, there's no written statement.
Once
There's
they
no written statement.
it's recorded, it's 2 hours long, thereabouts. But once they ask, I think I'm entitled to ask about the entirety of the statement. I think that's the law. It's called, the court's well aware, it's the doctrine of completeness. The case law is complete with it.
Judge, it's hearsay. I mean, just it's flat out hearsay for him to try to put that in.
It's-
Welcome, Barbara. Thank you for joining me. Welcome, Virginia. Yes, Harley, they've already sat the jury. Oh, wait, have they brought them in yet? I don't know if they brought the jury back in. They did have them in. But I don't know if they, yeah, okay, yeah, jury has been seated. Thank you, Mom.
I was just going to ask you that. I didn't see them.
All right, and looking at the newest edition of Tennessee Law of Evidence, 7th edition. I'm on page 8-6. Under Rule 803, 1.2, admission by party opponent. A statement offered against a party that is A, the party's own statement, is not excluded by the hearsay rule. And in the entirety of 806, I'm sorry, of the discussion of Rule 803, 1.2, well, in the book, it's section 8.06. But the rule is actually 803, 1.2. There is no discussion of the rule of completeness as applied to the exclusion of a party opponent. The only thing it says is that the person against whom the statement is used may testify. And of course, this is a criminal case, so she's not required to.
Judge, did the court refer to Rule 106, Rules of Evidence? I I think that discusses the doctor completeness and we're in the process of pulling a case. The case of State versus Torres from
Hold on.
Tennessee.
This is why we have these issues. That's why I set so many hearings before court.
I understand. I didn't expect they would dismiss that count of the indictment today and do this.
One what?
106, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Willie, I have to agree. I do think that you would argue.
Westlaw 1109917. And that is State versus Brewer.
Dang, somebody better give this lawyer a Red Bull. He's slow. Slow as snot. Come on, man.
So, under a 106 evaluation, what, I guess my question is, I don't know what the rest of the statement says.
Did you say something to me, Doodle?
That's exactly my point, Judge. There's nothing misleading about what I
No,
asked.
no, I was
didn't
just
ask
bringing what-
anything about what Ms. Boswell
Okay.
said. I didn't elicit any testimony whatsoever about a statement that she made. All I asked was whether or not she admitted that she was dead. There's nothing misleading about that, and nothing about what he's going to ask as far as that. All it does is further their theory. It doesn't in any way clear up any misconception or misleading information that I may have presented from that.
Hey, Michelle.
Torres,
What's up, Willie?
2002, in defendant's murder trial, the court erred in denying the admission of the videotape of defendant's statements. However, the error was harmless because the evidence of defendant's guilt was overwhelming and nothing on the videotape remotely implied that the defendant was innocent of the crime. So, not knowing, I don't know what's on this tape. I haven't seen it. Today, hearing about it. So that's what I'm asking.
Good. my understanding of that doctrine, it doesn't, I don't have to show that there's something misleading.
That's absolutely, he does. I mean, it's right out of the, right out of
Can I
the.
finish? I'll listen to you. I mean, no disrespect to
Wow.
anyone here. I'm not trying to
Oh,
upset anyone.
sassy ass.
But
Here we go.
in Torres, there's an issue about that. There are other cases besides Torres. That's the first one I pulled up. There's a State versus Brewer that where it's the same thing. It's an issue of fundamental fairness. They ask about the statement, then they say, I can't ask about the parts I want to ask about. And if we need to take a minute, I've asked the court for a minute so we can print a couple of those cases and make sure.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, I want to do this right. I know you want to do it right.
You've got the cases on that.
Guys, if you guys came in on my side, please jump over to Doodles and hit the like button over there. She's the one that's leading this and hosting today. So I really appreciate the support for that.
Dylan Brewer, that can be found in 2019 Westfall 1109917. I forwarded that to your assistant and asked her if she would print it. I have not.
SRB, can you drop Doodles link, please, real quick here?
And Judge,
If you're on
I
this
would
side.
go back to the part, the rule requires that a writing or recorded statement or part thereof be introduced by a party. I did not introduce any part of her statement. I asked Detective Fraley if she ultimately admitted that her child was dead. I didn't ask what she said. I didn't ask how she did, if she did it, if she admitted she did it, if she said she didn't do it.
What you asked was if she made that statement to you, in which she get. I mean, I'm never go back. If that's what you want me to do, I mean.
I would further point the court that the footnotes to the rule of completeness 106 clearly talk. Mr. Scott said it didn't, but it clearly says rule providing that when a writing or written recorded statement or part thereof is introduced by a party, an adverse party may require the introduction at that time of any other part or any other writing which ought in fairness to be considered contemporaneously with it, provides an adverse party a mechanism for putting portions of the writing into context if the portions would otherwise be misleading. There's nothing misleading about what I asked Agent Fraley. He's not trying to clarify anything. Unless he's in some way trying to insinuate that the child wasn't dead.
Well, we're gonna take a minute. I'm gonna look at whatever cases.
Yes, Judge, they're having a hard time going through it. We can have a minute. I'll collect and send them back. Yeah, I just may need time to do it. Back to your staff.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I step out for a few minutes?
Yeah, we'll take. We're still on. We're still on.
That's them guys. They've muted, not me. Paula. Barb, I'm so happy to see you in here today. Are you feeling better? At least a little bit? Virginia! Yeah, that's probably good wisdom. I like that they do mute like that because we don't need to hear everything, really. I mean, I want to, but I know I'm not, I, they don't owe me that information. Yes, yes, Sarah, that is Timmy D's mom. Yes, that's Barbara. Hello, Kimber. Oh, they will, Willie. They'll love her in there. Yep, I agree, Willie. Yes, Sarah, she's a beast. Barb is an absolute beast. She's a warrior. It was such an honor to spend the day with her Saturday. It was great. Confuse you, Willie?
This seems kind of disorganized, Doodle.
What do you mean? It's court.
Like,
Of course it's disorganized.
I don't know. I feel like they should have had some things together a little bit better.
They do. What it is they had this argument, and the judge has to figure out how to solve this argument, and it can't be public.
Right. No,
So, I
I
mean, they really
understood.
couldn't I don't think they kinda knew that this was gonna happen.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Willie, as far as I know, no, I think what they're trying to say is, like, because her childhood was so bad that she just didn't know right from wrong is what I'm getting from it.
Yeah, there's no way they can pull insanity on this one. No way.
No. Oh, she's nuts, but not like nuts. She's just an
Yeah.
entitled little spoiled brat.
Our charge is premeditated too, Willie. So there's that. So that's gonna make things interesting, I think. Did they pull the jury again?
I don't think they're in there yet. Maybe.
No. I
But I
thought they
don't think
brought
they
them
would
back.
argue like that in front of the jury. You do,
No, of
Dago?
course not. They never brought him
Okay.
back. Okay. I thought mom said that they did, but okay, gotcha. Thank you
I think
guys.
she meant earlier. I would hope not. I hope they don't argue like that in front of the jury. That would really confuse them.
Yeah, they don't do that. No, you're right about that, Critical. Karen Reed's trial was beyond disorganized. That was a mess. My misunderstanding. I didn't realize. Oh yeah, they do definitely require patience. They take time. That's why they take so long. You
Oh,
two
Barbara.
together. You two together were so cute. I loved it. I did. I loved it. You guys are good together. I'll say that much for sure. Agreed, Willie. There's some people are just so, that was talked about before you came in here, entitled and think the world owes them something that they don't care about that the child that they bore, you know? Stop having them. You don't deserve them. Good morning, truth seeker. I think it was about a statement that was made. Paula, am I wrong, Doodle? What they were arguing about?
They I'm not sure. Like, it's something I'm sure we're not privy to, and whatever it is, apparently, the defense thought that they didn't get their time to speak. So
Yeah.
that's what this is about. Because he
I know
kept
there was an
interrupting him. The prosecution kept interrupting the defense.
got you. I know there was an outlying God, sorry. I know there was an outlying argument about witnesses or something that, but I don't think that had anything to do with this argument here. Stop calling my phone.
Ooh, that looks serious. Why is that the officer? Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Oh,
Mama
it's
Bear.
always great when the lawyers get in contempt of court. It's just like, wow.
Mhm.
But that's the one I would wanna hire, one willing to fight hard enough that he'd go to jail for me.
Agreed. Um, oh wow, okay.
Are you okay?
Thank you. Yeah, Mama Bear was sending me
Oh, okay.
information for the other
The way you said
hearings.
that. Oh, okay. The way you were saying that, I was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh no, 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 sorry. I think out loud sometimes and I shouldn't. Thank you, Mama Bear.
I do the same thing, but I get in trouble when I think out loud. People take it dirty. I don't understand it.
There's 2 hearings coming up for the Idaho situation in Coburger tomorrow and Friday.
Oh.
So
So was that
that's
a Frank's hearing? Did the Frank's hearing go through?
I think that's what this first hearing is about tomorrow, I think, and we'll find out. If it did, oh boy, that's gonna be
Okay.
interesting for sure.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Um, so if it's I hate trying to figure out the timeline for these. 10 AM tomorrow in Idaho is wait a minute, Latah County. What? They're going back to Latah for that motion hearing? Is that right, you guys?
I have no idea.
It should be in Ada County. That doesn't make sense. Maybe they screwed up. Typo, but they did it on both. Sorry, Doodle. I don't mean to.
No, you're fine,
They're,
you're fine.
they're not talking, are they? I don't want to overlap that with this, but
No, no, they're not talking. You would hear it. They're muted, so I put her face up there, so but she just oh my goodness. This is her day. This is
critical.
her day.
Right. Critical said they're going back to Latah to look for that third tower, right? It could be because that was, yeah, SRB's right. Payne's jurisdiction. I don't know. It should be interesting, but I guess I will be covering that. Oh, thank you, Mom, for sending me that, by the way. I'll have to look at that a little deeper. But anyway, that's going to be at 10 AM there. So it'll be 1 here. Or am I backwards with that? I'll figure it out, guys. Don't worry about it. I hope it's the motion to approve the Franks. That would be interesting to hear. So 1 o'clock, I'll be covering that. Okay. Just because I think more information will come out within the Franks hearing. It was pre-scheduled by Judge. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sherry. Are you saying it's not happening? She is absolutely amazing, isn't she, Barb? Beautiful, beautiful little angel. God, I can't even understand. I don't understand. Thank you, SRB. Beautiful blue eyes. I know. They're like sky blue. Oh, it's not
Yep.
on the court website. Okay.
Just an
Interesting.
innocent little girl that could absolutely do nothing wrong. It's heartbreaking. It is.
It is because all she knew was being happy, like we saw in those videos, and living and just being energetic and all that. And then it was just gone for no reason, you know?
Yeah, by the one person that she thought she could trust the most, her protector, her mother.
That's the hardest part, Doodle, is these kids, they go to us as parents and they trust and love and they need us in that moment. And when that person takes that from you and takes your life from you, that just I can't imagine that, you know? I just can't. It's a good point, Peggy. Yeah, agreed, Kimber. Right in a nice brand new chair sitting right next to Satan himself. Well, I hope it was worth her time, that little bit of life that she got to live according to her, living her best life. Hope it was worth all that to her, because you ain't gonna live nothing else now. Yeah, this one's rough, Willie. It's really rough. So, Miss Sherry, you're saying it's not on the website, so they're not going to be showing that one then, I take it, is what you're saying? I didn't see anything in the documents. Yeah, YouTube's not very fun, Willie. I get it.
Well, goodness, this is a long argument here, huh?
It is quite. They haven't said anything that I've heard critical. The point is that it's believed that she was still alive when she went into that can. Mom stated that they found
Yeah, if there
pieces
was
of
aluminum foil in her lungs, she definitely was alive.
right, and was struggling to breathe through that. They showed a picture of her. Hang on, Willie.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of her, but I'm sure they'll show her soon.
Yeah, they're gonna show her again soon. They usually do. Believe me, it's nothing to look at.
Well,
Miss
where'd the
Sherry.
judge go? Are they in his chambers?
Well, no, because they're both still sitting at their desk, unless he had to go in the back to
Yeah,
call
so
or
what I bet the judge has gotta poop. I don't know.
could be. Could be. Ada County put out a statement on Twitter. It had been a pre-schedule before. Oh, thank you. Okay, that makes sense. Wisdom, thank you. So that's a whole different scenario. Gotcha. So those hearings were pre-scheduled before the change of venue, therefore they're not in that. Makes sense. Okay, thank you. That makes way more sense now.
It makes sense to me, Nancy and Critical. I mean, why else would he just up and go and not be back yet? Yeah, right, Willie.
That coffee kicked in real quick. He said, "Bye."
Better he went for a stiff drink and was like, "This is too much. I'll be back. I gotta go to the
That would
bar."
be, yeah, that would be real believable too, Doodle. Truly, I think I'd have
Dang, I
probably
mean, this
started
is
drinking
stressful.
again too.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. This is gotta be horrible for everyone there, even the officers. I mean, I feel so bad for them.
And the judge having to go home every night knowing what he's heard that day, and then at the end of this, you know what I mean? That's wow. That's a lot. That could be too
We'll
Hartley
know if
that
he
he's
comes back smiling. If he comes back
yeah,
smiling, Dago, we're gonna know where he was at.
yeah, exactly. He pulled out the stash. Hartley made a good point. He could be reviewing the case law that the attorneys brought up, very possibly.
Oh my God, Willie, are you serious? Oh no.
Oh, I heard about that.
For
Yeah,
heaven's sakes. Oh
I heard
no.
about that.
That would be my luck, I swear.
I did, Mom. It was late when I saw the Albany, New Albany, was a mass shooting here in Ohio. I'm not 100% sure where New Albany's at. I was a little surprised. I don't know. SRB, are you familiar with that area? And my understanding is they had one in custody from it. 6 people, I think, were injured, and I thought there was a manhunt for another one. Another suspect. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't really get to look into it today. Columbus suburb. Okay, thank you, SRB. Yeah, I'm surprised. I was not familiar with New Albany. I never heard of it. Oh, they did get only one. Okay, critical. Thank you. I was like I said, I didn't get to really look into it. That's how many we had here in Ohio now. That's been quite a few now. It could be Virginia. Definitely needs a cigarette through this. I can promise you that much if he's a smoker. You heard a YouTuber do that? Who, Matahari? You talking about what Willie's talking about? That's gross. It was a warehouse. It was like cosmetics or something. Yeah. I knew it was a warehouse, but I didn't know where. Oh, wow. I imagine they would be, Willie. I know I would be. What, Doodle, what was this slated for? How, 6 weeks or 4? This trial?
Now they're saying it could go 2 to 4, but they
2 to
don't look
4.
for it to go over 2. But, I mean, you
I,
never know.
yeah, I don't think it's pretty much cut and dry with it at this point. It seems to be, at least. I did see a link on that critical that Lana was out looking for, where he lived and all that, the projects and stuff. So yeah. They're gonna bring him back in now. There she goes, Willie. If you could, they're really doing a good
Yeah.
job of not showing her face today. That's crazy. Watch, Willie. If they bring her back, I think she went to the bathroom. You'll be able to catch her face, maybe, unless they tell the camera to look away. Yeah, there's no soul there. That too. God, she's so beautiful. All right, Miss Paula, have a good day. Or try to. Be safe out there. I think you might be right, Doodle. I think he is in the bathroom.
I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
I can't imagine looking up case law taking this long. Just saying.
Right. Yeah, there's something going on. Something bad happening here.
Yeah. You're right, Willie. Unless
That
had
he
to
already did, and he's calling his wife, "Bring me some clothes."
I need some new drawers, babe. Right.
He'll come back with his robe with no pants.
I told you that stuff you made was detrimental last night. What did you put in that? Tacos for lunch. Yep, yep.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, if we saw the bailiff come in and start wheeling his chair out, that'd be it for me. I'd be done. You'd know. You'd definitely know that.
Right, right.
You know. I didn't actually see him get up and leave, SRB. I wasn't looking.
I
And he
had
did this.
Evelyn's picture up, so I hadn't noticed either. But when I dropped it, I noticed that he was gone. I was like, oh,
It was
he's gone.
yeah, it was a quick departure though, because it was just a quick few seconds that would happen. So he was out quick. You never know. Oh, I'm glad that we're able to have a little bit of tiny bit of comic relief within this, because otherwise,
Yeah,
guys,
you
this
have to. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a lot.
yeah,
It's a
you have
whole lot.
anytime that a child loses, its life, it's never an easy thing. So, I mean, I will completely make stupid jokes throughout this whole thing. I will apologize ahead of time, but that's how I cope.
No, you don't have to apologize. We know that with you. A lot of us are like that here and there. That could be too, Nancy. I wouldn't doubt it with the way this trial is. He said, you know
Yeah,
what?
maybe he
Nope.
took her out back. Maybe he's just going to take care of her. Here we go. Let's end this right. Just bam. Let's get this over with.
They walked her out. You never know. That would be
Allegedly.
that would be interesting. I'll tell you that.
Allegedly.
All right. Don't work too hard, Miss Kimber. Exactly, SRB. You would go nuts with this stuff if you didn't have a little bit of relief. I agree. 100%, Willie. I think Doodle and I are both in that point. We've talked about that with these cases, eye for an eye type situations. There should be
Oh,
some
yeah.
of
I've
these.
always been like that, though.
Yep.
I was just raised that way. Don't do anything to other people you don't want back to you. And if you do, then don't be surprised when you get your butt
Don't
kicked
be-
because you
That's
asked
right.
for it.
That's right. I think we'd all be standing in line behind you, SRB, to help. Each person would want their own shot at it. I promise you that.
I'd like to shoot you in the ass with the BB gun. Lay there in the tall grass and laugh at what I'd done. Put a blood blister upon each bun. I'd like to shoot you in the ass with the BB gun.
Amen. Thank you again for that, Miss Sherry.
She sent me that. I was like, oh, okay. That's it.
That's
We
perfect.
needed that for this trial.
Did you hear about the stolen eggs? $40,000 worth here in Pennsylvania. There's some true. You know what? I did. My wife also showed me something else where people were going into stores. No lie. It happened because eggs are so expensive right now. People were going into this.
So
Go
what
ahead.
you're saying is I need to guard my hens with everything I've got,
Probably.
right?
Probably.
Or I can be the butt nugget dealer. I'm going to be rich. Oh my goodness gracious.
Get some gold teeth and some gold change. You're good to go. Yeah, I got eggs.
I got 3 dozen
You want
right in my
eggs?
fridge. Who wants to buy some?
They're finding people in stores. Somebody on TikTok was showing that they're going into the store every day and taking 5 eggs and putting them out of the packs and putting them in their pocket and stealing them. I'm like, are you serious? 5 a day.
Oh, they better not come at my hens. I got a mean rooster.
Yeah, chicken and eggs until this passes is just a no-no, I think, unless you
Oh
got
no,
chicken.
Willie. Willie. I'm sorry, Willie. Willie said, I thought the court was playing that.
No, that would be something else, wouldn't it?
No, Willie,
That would
that's
be-
all me and me being crazy.
That's what the judge was doing, Willie. He was in the back putting that out.
Thank you, Willie. I so needed that laugh. I'm in tears.
Can you imagine that, though? Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please, a moment of silence so we can play this little excerpt here and then just play it. That would be crazy. Yeah, that's funny, though.
Oh, you
Mrs.
can always
T.
leave it to Willie to get every time Willie is in a chat. I end up crying and laughing.
Yes. Yeah, people typically probably like me. I don't really care for eggs that much, but I do. And now I'm like craving them because they're so expensive. We don't get
Wait,
them.
what
You know what I'm
did you
saying?
say? What did you just say? You said, like me, I don't really care for eggs, but I do. What the hell are you talking about? You do or you don't?
I don't. It's
You
one of
do
them
like
weird
eggs
things.
or you don't like
I like them, but I don't
because of
like
keto?
stress about them.
Because of keto.
Yeah,
It's probably about the keto because I'm
it
sick of
is.
it. I don't care if I ever see another egg.
I
I'm
get it.
so
I'm
over it.
100% there with you, but I still occasionally want to eat them. I definitely am sick of
Yeah,
hard-boiled
yeah,
eggs. I'll
me
tell you
too.
that much. I'm sick of hard-boiled eggs. Bad.
Oh, I can't do that because we all know. Mm-mm. Toot toot. Mm-mm. No way. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm just over. But what else is there to eat? So yeah, 15. My wife
Willie
said that
says,
the last.
"Well,
Go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry."
Well, you can read that Willie thing Willie put in there. I just read
Oh,
it. It's kind of funny.
Willie says, well, I thought they were showing the picture of the little girl, and then bam, that starts singing.
Yeah. Yes. That would be insane. I was just gonna say, Brandy went. Last pack of eggs she bought was an 18 pack, and she paid $15 for this pack of eggs. You guys, $15
No
for 18
way.
eggs, and it was at a discount store. And I said,
Oh
I
yeah,
just don't get.
yep.
I don't get it.
That's it. I'm definitely going to be the butt nugget dealer in my neighborhood.
You better
So
put up
definitely.
fencing and get a guard up too, Doodle. Get your rifle out and
Oh, I have a privacy fence around my whole property. I don't like people,
I get it. I get it.
but dogs,
Crazy.
I love dogs.
$40 in whole. Seriously, Willie?
No way.
Eggs.
Uh-uh.
I can believe it. 15 for 18 here. So yeah. It's over $1
So
a piece, guys.
what the hell kind of crap is that? Considering the dead chicken is less money than the eggs. When did you think that would happen?
No idea. I gotta ask my wife.
I
I
mean, you could
forgot that.
buy a chicken. You could buy a
Right.
chicken, the dead chicken, cheaper than the eggs. How does that even make
Uh,
sense?
absolutely don't. Hey, Arctic. Welcome back, buddy.
SRB, that's exactly what mine is. The planks you buy from Lowe's that you put together, the privacy fence all the way around.
Yep. It is
And it
really
keeps
crazy.
thieves away because they're not going to work to get in here to steal anything.
I don't understand why they'd be cheaper in some states than others, though. That's something I don't understand. $21 for 60 eggs here, and Waffle House is now charging a 50-cent surcharge per. Are you serious? Oh my God.
Guys, just buy chickens. I mean, really, seriously, just buy a couple hens.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it would pay off in the long run.
And you keep them on your property,
I
and they're
haven't bought eggs
staying
in like 10 years.
there, and they won't get that stuff if they're on your property away from all these other birds, and you take care of them. You should be good, I would think, right?
Right.
They couldn't get it.
Right, right. And it's so funny because this year we did this I did this experiment thing because I was reading on Google that they said if you played some like classical music that your early hens that they will lay faster. Well, I played music for 2 weeks and my hens are already laying and they should not be laying for another 2 months. It's crazy. I know it sounds nuts, but it works.
Wow. Good. That's more for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
now
just
that
hope they
I'm a
don't have
butt
a
nugget
blowout.
dealer, come on, gals. Yeah,
I
no
just hope
more
they don't have
freeloading.
like
These hens are not freeloading.
right. Hopefully they don't have a butt blowout from dropping too many eggs too soon.
Well, I'll
No,
just
it's
buy another hen cheaper than buying a dozen eggs.
Critical is right. I've heard people talking about getting goats lately too for like cheese and stuff, and I'm like, really? I don't know. I get that too, Hartley. I'm in the boonies too. I still want my privacy. What else
Well,
can
I
you get
had
out of a
2
goat?
roosters, but you can milk a goat. You can make cheese from the milk from a goat.
The cheese I've
Some
heard
people
of,
will
but I've
eat goat.
never. The meat?
Yeah, you can milk it. Oh, I don't know. I don't eat goat, but people do eat goat. They say it's a delicacy. I'm not eating it, but
Oh, I
somebody
don't
else
know
may.
about that. Their eyes freak me out. I couldn't eat something that looked like that. No.
Well, Sarah, since you are kind of local to me, I will let you know. But yes, I will be the neighborhood butt nugget dealer. So save up that money, girlfriend.
Maybe you can send them to me, Doodle. You think they'll all get here in one piece?
Probably not. All the way from Missouri to Ohio. I doubt it. Not with these carriers. You'd
I'd
have
have one.
scrambled eggs.
Right. Goat milk. I've heard about that too, Mrs. T. And yes, I'm right there with
Many
you,
babies,
SRB. I wonder if lamb
babies
and
that have milk intolerance, they can drink goat milk.
yes, yep, that is true. I wonder if lamb and goat have the same type, like meat wise, like texture. I wonder
I have no idea.
because lamb, I could do lamb. I love
I
lamb.
don't. Well, I don't have goats because to me it's pointless. I'm not going to feed something I'm not going to eat and just waste all this money. I'm not going to milk it because I'm just not. And so
Yeah,
they tear up stuff. I'm just not. It's just a waste of money for me to have goats.
they keep your lawn cut though. No, they don't. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Never
and
mind.
they eat your flowers too.
Yeah. Yes, lamb is very good. Goat has more gristle and bone. I bet it would. Yeah, that makes sense. See, I just couldn't eat it. Sorry. Sherry's right. Goats will eat anything, including defense. It shouldn't. I think they do expire, Willie. And I think they should put a limit on them if people are selling them like that.
Why would she need a cart full? How is she going to store those? That she's going to eat a
Mm,
cart full.
Unless she works at like a
Hmm.
restaurant or something, that could be.
Yeah, maybe like a mom and pop's restaurant.
Uh huh. Wait, my bill makes a peanut butter soup. Sometimes uses goat and lamb as what the heck? Peanut butter soup. I have never heard of that in my life. That's different.
No,
I
not
don't know
for
how
me.
that would. I don't know how that would taste. That's wild. Yeah, same reason why people bottle the toilet paper. That's what I was gonna say too. But how do you keep them good that if you have that many of them? Because they do expire, unless of course you have the little secret that Doodle has. But
Well, that would have to be fresh eggs, not store bought though.
that's what I'm saying. So
That has
yeah,
to be fresh eggs straight out the booty.
Arctic
Yeah,
said they can
Fox,
last.
they can. They can last over a year if you do it just right. Yes, I can make them last. You can but you use the lime, and it's called like it's called either glazing or glassing, and you just get a great big jar, and it's lime water. And as soon as they come out of the hen, you want to get them as fast as you can, as soon as you can, and you just set them all in there, and they're good for a year.
That would be interesting. I'd be
Yep.
scared, but hell, if I leave my eggs out on the counter for over an hour, I get nervous. You know.
Fresh eggs, you can leave them out for 30 days as long as they're not refrigerated. Now, if you refrigerate a fresh egg, then you have to leave it refrigerated or it'll rot fast.
What did you see? What Hartley just said? Freeze eggs in an ice cube trays for when there's a pending pot.
Yeah,
Now I wonder something.
yeah.
Could you? I was okay. So
And I don't
you
do
can
that for an
crack.
apocalypse, but it's great for scrambled eggs.
Can you can crack them into an ice cube tray, freeze them, and they still come out and they're okay.
Sometimes. Some of them will turn out a little watered down, but if you put a bunch in there and you use butter, then it'll scramble, yes, just the same. But you will have a little bit of a watered down flavor. But yes, yeah, they do work. I add them
Okay.
to like cakes. You can I use that for like baking because it's easier
Yeah.
because you already have to mix the egg.
So I told my wife about you doing that with the ice cube trays and the bacon grease, right?
Yeah.
Now she wants to do that. So
It works though, and it's so convenient.
she said it's a great idea. She'd have never thought of that. That's amazing. I told you guys you're like you and her are like almost identical. Things that you do and think.
It's probably a southern thing, really.
It has to be. She was like, I'm jealous. I didn't think of that. That's amazing. She's so smart. I said, yes, she is. I
No,
told you.
I'm just frugal and I
You
try
could,
to save money. I'm
but
just
that's
frugal.
still
It's
being
not that
frugal
I'm
means
smart.
you're smart. You think of the ways to be frugal. So that has to have some intelligence behind it, you know?
Well, I just want to be self-sufficient in a time where I don't have to rely on the government or stores. So that's my thing. Like I want to be able to provide for my grandson and even if I can't go to a store and get food. So that's where I come from. Just that fear of, what if?
Yeah, I get it. No, I absolutely get that. We talked about it here about having a cow or a couple pigs and chickens. And it's like, you have to start somewhere and it's kind of expensive to start. So the cow thing
Well,
is just not.
I just feel like every year could this like all of us just get a little bit softer and we get so used to this easy way. But when they can
Uh-huh.
shut all this off, some will make it and some won't. And I want to make it. I want to make sure my grandson is provided for without a store or the government or whatever.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was done before. It should be able to be done now.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know.
Hell, people survived without refrigerators, guys. A block of ice and a box is how they kept all their stuff cool. So
Yeah, Sarah, we're still waiting. I'm not sure. It says life port is on a short break, but this is quite a short break, huh?
yeah, if this was a break, they'd have shut the camera off, I thought, but I guess maybe he didn't expect it to
It
be
says
as long.
life port is on a short break. I have no idea.
I didn't even hear it, Sarah, so I don't know. I know there was an argument about something, and off he went.
But now they're like talking as if they're friends. So what could this is so confusing.
A lot of these attorneys do that. They know each other. They have coffee and drink at
Yeah.
the bar
Yeah.
afterwards. You know what I mean? It's weird to see.
Yeah. So do sheriffs and deputies, and we know how that ends sometimes.
Yeah, yep.
Or judge and deputy. Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking.
I think I knew what you meant.
Yeah, how scary is that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, my grandparents had those too, Tomboy. They had oh, what the hell they call it? Fruit cellar, and then
Oh,
there was
critical. I hope not. I hope critical's wrong. This better not be a plea deal coming.
she better
And I hope
not. That's bullshit. No, 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 no. Sorry for my
oh God,
language,
I
but
hope not.
she don't deserve any kind of a plea deal. It was the officer was still sitting up there at one point, but I think he stepped down now. Artist. Yes. Yep. The defense attorney was dug up from Hee Haw.
It is a crick.
They took her out, yes. They took him off the stand, they took her out, and the judge went in his court. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. Oh yeah, smokehouse. That was a big thing in the South for a long time. A lot of people have those.
Oh no, Tomboy, it's a crick.
Is it a creek or a crick?
It's a crick down by the holler.
In the holler. The
Down
crick.
yonder.
Yes. The crick, C-R-I-C-K. Yes. What's the difference between a crick and a creek?
Nothing. Tit, tat, tomato, tomato,
Potato.
potato.
A crick. It's a crick. Is it a crick, a stream, a creek? What's a stream? Anybody know what a stream is? And not on YouTube either.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I didn't
They
see
better
that. This
have fish
jury
in it.
was. I don't think the jury
They better
came
have
back
fish
in
in
yet,
it.
Sarah. Sorry, what you say, Doodle?
It can be anything as long as it's got fish in it.
Yep.
I don't care what it is, as long as I can fish in it.
Tomboy said it's effing water. Yeah.
I
I don't
agree.
know.
There you go. We agree now. Well, okay. No pea stream, Nancy.
Yes,
That's
I have
too
a
far. Too far. Too far.
I have a creek behind my house because it's not the actual river, it's a break off of it. It's just a little creek.
Sarah, I don't think the jury has been brought in yet
No.
because they
What's
had
the
this and they didn't like rice. I don't think the jury has been brought in since the lunch break and then now this break.
That is true. Creeks are fun. Yeah, these two look like they're best friends over here talking. Laughing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good for them that they can get up there and tell each other off and just sit there and laugh after. That's good. I like that. That's like a good debate and leave as friends. That's nice.
You can tell Willie's a smoker. This is what smokers do. Why do we call pigs ham, but we call chickens chicken? Break it down, Willie. Separate it.
Oh, Deep thinking with Willie.
Yes, you should do that, Willie. I did
I
that
would
one
like to see
time.
Willie and Mike on a panel when they're in
Oh
this deep
God,
thought. That would be so funny.
yes. Used to be my thing when I was a smoker back in the day. I was like, does anybody ever wonder what comes before outer space? Whoa.
I always know with Mikey because he'll like message me something and I'm like, that's deep. And he's like, yeah. And I said, uh-huh. And I'll send him this little picture and it's a goose and it says, this goose knows you're high right now.
Yes. Yes, you can tell with Mikey very easily. But turkey's turkey, beef is a cow. I get it. I get it, dude. I get it.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'll
I
give you
mean,
that. That is a bit weird.
could you imagine though if you were talking about that though? Like, I'm eating a cow burger. It just doesn't sound right.
Hamburg.
Well, let's not start that now, Sarge. Good God, that was a yeah.
Yeah. And you know who else says Hamburg? Preston. Because he
Does
says
he
it's
really?
not hamburger. Look it up. Oh yeah, and I don't like it. I'm like, stop it. It's hamburger.
Hamburger. It's not. Well, those two both have the same type mental. Oh, here he comes.
He's done.
He looks lighter.
Yep, yep. Now he's smiling. He had him a drink on the pooper. All right, let's get this party started.
Yeah. Good Lord. Watch
Esno
the
would say,
camera.
all aboard.
Watch the camera, Willie. You should be able to see her.
Right, SRB me either.
Yeah, he does look a slight bit irritated. I was going to say that too.
It's okay, Amy. It's fine. It's okay. If there's 10 people, that's great. If there's one, that's great. It's okay. She does have beautiful hair though.
There is nothing beautiful about her at all. I can't even do it, Doodle. You're right, but I can't agree. I'm sorry. Ugh. Everything about her makes me sick.
Well, those ladies in prison's gonna love that long dark hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like her soul, I agree.
Allegedly.
In your opinion.
Amen.
All right. Here we go.
All right, Mr. Scott, you handed me four, three, four cases.
Four, I think. They're right here. Judge, I handed you the unpublished case of State versus Brewer, and that case contains a pretty good explanation that it does cite to several published cases. If you go to, if the version you have of Brewer has a page 12 at the bottom, does it?
Yep.
If you go down to the last paragraph of page 12, it talks about 106 is a rule of timing and admissibility, and talks about whether it's not immediately clear where it would admit the introduction of otherwise admissible hearsay. That paragraph goes on to state, though, however, it has long been the law in this state when a part of a confession or admission is entered into evidence, the defendant is entitled to have the jury consider the entire confession. That cites Curry versus State, 397 Southwest 2nd, 179 at 181. That's Tennessee Supreme Court, 1965. And Samblin v. State, 387 Southwest 2nd, 817 at page 820. And that's, again, Tennessee Supreme Court, 1965. And they go on in this case, they talk about when when confession is admissible, the whole of what the accused said upon the subject at the time of making the confession is admissible and should be taken together. If the prosecution failed to prove the whole statement, the accused is entitled to put into evidence all that was said to him or by him at the time which bears upon the subject of controversy, including exculpatory or self-serving declarations connected herewith. It is for the jury to say what weight shall be given to several parts of that statement. For they may well believe the part that which charges the prisoner and reject that which tends to exculpate him. And that's a direct quote from State versus Robinson, 622 Southwest 2nd, 62 at page 71, Tennessee Supreme Court, 980. And in this case, in Brewer, the Court of Criminal Appeals goes on. This case is kind of almost on all fours the way I see it. The Rule 106 here in Brewer, the state examined on direct examination a witness about a statement. It did not put in a play that it put the physical statement in, nor did the officer read the statement verbatim. But they said the rule of fairness should allow you to place the whole statement in. And I think, Mr. Fraley was asked in this case, he was asked about taking a statement. I think he was asked a couple of times about taking a statement. And he was asked about her admitting that the child was dead. Well, certainly in a missing persons case, when you admit to the police that it's been shown and alleged that you're lying to, and Mr. Fraley, although the court granted an objection, said earlier that she was telling lies. And then when she fesses up and says the baby is dead, certainly the court should take that as a confession. And I think he was asked about the baby being dead, and the response was that the baby was dead, among other things. So that leaves that out there for the jury to be wondering what the other things are. That's my recollection. That's Mr. Horn's notes. Now, that's essentially my argument. I'll rely on the other cases I gave you, but I think that Brewer case gives the best explanation. Although it's an unpublished case, the cases it cites to certainly are published. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. If not, I'll yield to Mr. Harper.
Yeah.
Judge, I would agree with Mr. Scott. I think the Brewer case is on point. I would disagree with him as to how he's reading it. However, one, I don't think anything about what I elicited was in any way a confession by Miss Boswell. And two, I would rewind a little bit from where Mr. Scott quoted on page 12 of the opinion, because the danger that we're trying to avoid here is misleading the jury by providing only inculpatory parts or parts that somehow make the defendant put the defendant in a bad light, and not putting forth the parts that are inculpatory or in some way would mislead the jury about the proof. And the paragraph above where Mr. Scott quoted the rule of completeness that was explained by the Supreme Court, it talks about that the rule must do one of the following, and then it lists four things. One, explain already admitted proof. Two, place admitted proof in context. Three, avoid misleading the trier of fact. Or four, ensure a fair and impartial understanding of the already admitted proof. Well, what he's trying to elicit doesn't do any of that stuff.
See, that's my problem. My problem is I don't know what he's trying to do.
Well,
I have not been told yet.
all right, I guess I'll go ahead. I believe he's trying to elicit that what Miss Boswell told Agent Fraley was that her.
Step out.
And Mr. Suck can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what he's trying to elicit is that Miss Boswell told Agent Fraley that Hunter Wood, the defendant's boyfriend, rolled over and killed the child. And that was what she told Agent Fraley at that time. I don't know how that corrects in any way his statement that she admitted the child was dead. I mean, if anything, that's the fact she was there is more inculpatory to elicit that than it is correcting any sort of misleading impression that might be out there as a result of what Agent Fraley's already testified to.
Are you satisfied that that's an accurate summary of what proof is, or do I need to hear the whole 2 hours?
I would,
because there's, in this case, I don't recall which one it is, but I read that one of the arguments was that the defendant on possibly the post-conviction case, there was argument that because the judge relied on the summary of the proof instead of reviewing the entirety of it, that the judge couldn't make.
I think, and Mr. Harper can correct me if I'm wrong, I think I'm generally satisfied with what he's saying, but she explained how the baby died, where the baby, or maybe not where the baby went, but I think that Hunter took it in that statement. Am I right about that? Yeah. She gives an explanation. And I guess what I'm trying to say right now is it's fundamentally unfair. And I think it does satisfy at least one or two of those things that Mr. Harper's talking about in the paragraph above from Brewer. Explains the already admitted proof and puts it in context. Well, right now you have a case where the jury's heard this TBI agent say, yeah, she's lied and she's basically led us on wild goose chases, but she finally admits the baby's dead without putting in the full explanation of what she told them. And I think for the jury to hear that, there's no mention of anyone else in Holt's put in. She tries to explain to him what happens, and I think it explains it, and it avoids misleading the trier of fact from the standpoint of the jury. You don't know what this proof is. Mr. Harper and me, Mr. Harper, Ms. Maskill, we know it, and I think you said that's where you're struggling. Well, you have
obviously it's where I'm struggling because the test that the Tennessee Supreme Court is given to the trial judge is that it is an issue of fundamental fairness. It isn't an issue of one snippet of one statement misleads the jury. That's not the test. That's not the question. The question is it fundamentally unfair if I, as a trial, don't allow you to put in the entirety of the statement? I'm going to have to. Is it transcribed? Is it audio? Is it video?
It's 2 hours.
Well,
I guess we could fast forward.
I think I've got a clip of just that portion.
Well, here's the other thing. If you want to give me just a clip, obviously it speeds it up today. But then if the jury ultimately convicts, then on post-conviction or during the appeal, the argument's going to be, oh, well, the judge didn't review the entirety of the statement. And therefore he couldn't have made an appropriate determination. So here's where we're at. It's my opinion, and believe me, there's nobody in this courtroom who wants to keep this case moving. But it's my opinion that you're going to have to give me the audio or video or whatever it is, and I'm going to have to go back to chambers, and I'm going to have to review it. And then I can come out here and make a decision based on this law. I think that's where we're at. I don't want to send the jury away, but I'm not going to make them sit out here for 2 hours.
I think maybe you're going to have to. I mean, if I'd have known this was going to come up, if they'd have known, we'd have brought this up. But I don't think. But I do think the court needs to consider when you do this: is this a confession? Because those state Supreme Court cases that are cited in Brewer go back to 1965, and I don't think.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. And the last case that you gave me gives me this freedom. I'm not going to go back to 1965. I'm going to rely on the rules of evidence as they've been enacted in this state now for some time, and the cases that talk about the rules of evidence. 1965 predates our rules of evidence.
I understand that.
And even our Supreme Court in one of these cases says, look, the defendant in that case made arguments relying on the old cases. And the Supreme Court said, look, we're going to look at this under what the rules of evidence say, and that's where that's my story.
Okay. I want you to understand my position is this. I think the defendant under due process protections given to her by both the Tennessee Constitution and the federal Constitution has a right to fundamental fairness. And I think those cases, that's what they're talking about, is fundamental fairness. So
okay, just sit there.
I'm not sure that there's a difference between if there's the rules of evidence provide for fundamental fairness. I understand what you're saying. Let's make that and if I'm wrong, I think we're on the same page at least. Is what needs to be done.
I'll find it. I'll comment about it when I get it.
Yes, sir.
Where we're at right now is I'm going to have to bring the jury in. I'm going to send them, since this is day one and they've not been to the hotel yet, I'm going to go ahead and just send them to the hotel. So I'm going to have to listen to or watch.
It's video.
It's video.
All right. And we may have the whole issue about whether I can see and hear what's being said. I've had another case where I had Sullivan County videos that I could not hear.
These are pretty clear, Judge. There shouldn't be any problems.
So I need to bring the jury in. Lieutenant, so you know, I'm going to go ahead and send them to the hotel.
Yes, sir.
Let them get settled in. And see what y'all talking about.
Yes, sir.
We'll start back on that part. But I need to really-
Your Honor, I think if did we not get in that other case,
I
those
still
statements with the
got this.
Bluetooth,
I still got this.
did it work that way? Okay.
One stand, please. You may be seated. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed lunch first. Second, we've got a legal issue that's come up, and I have to do a little bit of research so I can come to the right conclusion. And it's going to slow us down a little bit. But since this is the first day of sequestration, I'm going to go ahead and have the officers take you to the hotel so you can get settled in. Your luggage should already be there. I think they've already told you all that. Then they'll take you out to dinner tonight to some undisclosed restaurant somewhere in the Tri-Cities. But before you go, I'm required by law to give you certain admonitions. One, you're not to communicate with other jurors or anyone else regarding any subject connected with this trial. You're not to form or express any opinion about the case until it is finally submitted to the jury. You're to report promptly to this court any incident involving an attempt by any person to improperly influence any member of the jury. You're also to report promptly to the court a juror's violation of any of these admonitions. You're not to read, watch, or listen to any news reports concerning this case. You're to decide this case solely on the evidence introduced in this trial. Okay? Now, we'll start back at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I will see you then.
One fan, please.
Well, all right, guys. I guess that was
Is
a
that
little
it?
weird. What do you think?
What?
This is a first for me. I've never seen this.
What did they just do, Hunter? I was not 100%
They
because my
just
wife just called.
they just dismissed jury for the day to get settled into their hotel because they can't decide on whether or not the fact that she stated that he rolled over on her is that a confession that she knew already at that point that Evelyn had passed away. Was that a confession?
I mean, it kind of sounds like that, but
Yeah, but
they
that's what they
better
were
not
arguing
allow
about.
because that's not what happened, you guys. In my opinion, I do not believe that.
And I think the judge is actually taking the time to just dismiss them and think about this before he even makes any kind of decision on either side.
That's good. That's good
Yeah,
for
yeah, it
sure.
is.
But if they're going to accept that as her, what do you call it? What you just said it, her admission of guilt
Confession.
or what? There,
Yeah.
thank you. Confession is this that guys? I don't believe that that's what she did. I just don't. I mean, Doodle, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, well, I mean, honestly, it's up to the judge
I
because
know that, but I mean, just your
yeah,
opinion as
'cause
to what you think
I've
may
never
happen.
seen that. It, it just depends on how the judge is going to see it. He can look at it like she really didn't know, so she assumed. But how else would she know that he would have rolled over on her unless she knew that she had already passed? So
Hey,
there is
that
right there the admission of guilt. So
yeah,
that can be used as an admission of guilt where she pled not guilty. So that's where the
and
problem lies.
she just signed what I thought. That's what it looked like. She was signing a confession per se. You know what I mean?
She might be, and if she did sign a confession, then she may very well get a plea deal.
And that's gonna make me sick.
Yep. That's
That's
gonna
gonna
yeah.
make me sick because that means they'll give her a deal. They'll offer her a couple deals. They'll go back and forth with this, and she'll
Yep.
take the best one. Her attorney will say is the
Uh-huh.
best, and she could get off on this, guys. With
No, I don't think she'll get off, but
no.
she'll get a less sentence,
That's what I
maybe,
mean.
but Hartley says the judge has to hear the entire recording of her statement, which yes, of course. Yeah, he
Yeah,
definitely will. And it'll be left up to him, but I mean that definitely that is showing guilt. I mean,
take care, Hartley. Thank you so much for joining us. But if she gets off with like 10 to 15 years, I'm gonna throw up. I'm just telling you.
yeah. Yeah, me too.
No way.
I don't know. I think what the plea deal will be maybe life with parole. I don't look for her to get anything else than that. And I don't know what life is in Tennessee. Is it just like Missouri where it's 30 years or is it life being the entirety of her life? Because
Right.
if that was the case, then why would the not parole even be brought up?
Miss Sherry said that's not what happened. We're
Oh,
not
okay,
saying
what
that,
happened, Sherry?
right. We're not, don't misunderstand, Miss Sherry. We're not saying she got a plea deal. We're saying that
Yeah, we don't
if
know.
she were to get one.
This is just guessing. I have no idea.
Yeah, what did happen though, Miss Sherry, so that we can understand it? Because I don't truly understand. I've never seen that happen like that before.
Natural life. Okay.
It
Awesome.
it wasn't a confession. It was an admission of the. Oh, so she
Body
basically
being
was admitting that she knew the baby was dead. So doesn't that still count against her if, as what's that charge, Doodle, where you don't um
that's an
yeah,
admission of guilt.
it should be.
That's guilty knowledge. Yes. But it's
Phil's
not a
saying
confession.
Phil's saying negligent homicide. Look up Tennessee laws for negligent
Uh,
or involuntary manslaughter. That's still
now she won't get that because there was no involuntary here. She put her if they can prove that baby was alive, then that is out the window.
well, they can because there was pieces of
Right, right.
aluminum in her lungs,
Aluminum
meaning
foil in
she
her lungs.
right. So then they also already charged her premeditated. So how do you back that up?
You can't with involuntary. She won't. I mean, they could lessen the charge, but I can't see why they would.
Yeah, I agree. Mom's right though. She said bullshit. Why even have a damn trial? 5 years and still dragging this out.
And
I gotta agree with that too.
wisdom's right, but that's not necessarily the way the baby may have passed, and we don't know for sure exactly what that autopsy report has. So she has a great point there.
But they have that though, right? They have the autopsy report and they can look at this and tell if something was done to this baby,
Okay.
whether she admits or not, right?
Mom says that they can prove it. That she sent me the hearing thing on it. So yeah, they can prove that baby Evelyn was alive, and if they can
Yeah, I'm
prove
sure
that,
they could.
the involuntary is gone.
I think it's going to be based on that autopsy then, right? Because that'll tell how that baby died per se,
Yeah.
and what may have happened before that,
Right.
before the baby's death.
Goodness. Oh.
Oh, I agree that she was alive. There's no two ways about. There's no way that the foil was in her lungs if she wasn't. That's just fact,
Right.
in my
Right.
opinion.
Wow. My goodness. Wow.
Her claim, Phil, was that she wrote on the baby. I just have struggled with that the whole time. As to that's what actually happened. I think there was something else that happened, in my opinion.
Dang.
And I think they're gonna throw this on that on Hunter. They're gonna put it on him, stating that he did it.
Well, yeah, defense will. They'll try to push it on anybody except for her.
The
Well,
baby
all
was
right.
found in a shed in the back, in a garbage can, Phil, wrapped in blankets and foil, in a garbage can upside down in an old playhouse that she had in the back, amongst a bunch
Oh
of
my
other
goodness,
garbage.
what is that?
What?
Oh my goodness, guys, hold on. I'm so sorry.
What?
Did you hear that?
No.
Something I guess you guys couldn't hear it, but over here where I had stopped the screen from the court TV, it said this news reporter came yelling, "Pants on fire." And I was like, "Oh my God, hold on," because I didn't click out of YouTube.
Oh, liar, liar. Yeah, it was a
I
playhouse.
was
Thank
like,
you,
"Oh my God."
Mom. Yeah, this is all lies on her side of things, as far as I'm concerned. That's just my opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me, obviously, like I said. But what are they arguing of today? Is another theory to enter as evidence? I don't know. It's a little bit. It's a bit of a mess, Matahari. I'm just a little confused with some of it. But thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
Wisdom, for being here to be able to clarify these things that a lot of us don't get from the court systems. And Phil, thank you too.
Yeah, you have to be really smart to understand that stuff because when it comes to this stuff, I'm just like, what? What?
We're learning, but it takes a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot of stuff to learn.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
that too. So much of it. Doodle, I really appreciate you doing this today.
Oh yeah, no worries. I will be live. Are you going live?
I was
Dago?
thinking about going after this. Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
am.
Yeah, okay, good, good. All right, I was gonna say, so
Separate from this.
I will be live tomorrow morning. It's 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock for you, Dago. But I will be, and I'll have that all set up. And then, if you guys
You
want
want
to go
me to
over
join
to
you
Dago's,
again?
just going live. Do what?
Would you like me to join you again, or do you
Well,
want
it's
to
up
do
to
it?
you. Yeah, yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind. I just know I'm gonna see this all the way through because I
Yeah.
just have to. I have
No, I
to.
agree. I agree. I'll just make it the morning show special edition, and that's what I mean. I want to see justice on this as much as I think anybody else does. So you know, I was curious about this, and I was talking to Miss Sherry yesterday and Stormy, and they kind of drew me into it more. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, guys, and watch for Dago to set up, and then, so I will have mine set up for tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So I will get out of here, guys. I'll see you over at Dago's.
thank you so much again, Doodle. Everybody, please make sure to hit the like button if you will. Share this out. If you're not subscribed, please do that. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything this awesome lady puts out. You guys have a great day. Doodle, thank
Thanks,
you so much.
guys.
God bless.
See you over at Dago's.
Does anyone understand? Does anyone lend a hand? When the silence starts to bite, will you join me in this fight? Can you see them in your dreams? Can you hear their desperate screams? A heartbeat lost in the night. Oh, will you help me be their voice? In the darkness, let's rejoice. 'Cause together we